Päässyt yhtä nopeasti kuin ponit. Hello, I guess we're live.
Yeah, I guess we're live.
I am Ricky Atulu and holy fuck, Enzo is a machine.
Yeah, I'm Joni Backman and Enzo is still a machine.
I'm Joonas Puhakka and I think we
And
need...
which is good.
I'm Joonas Puhakka and I think we need a Terminator here.
Yeah, this is a 3-hour unofficial broadcast by Glacier TV. This is a Blanche Pond Endurance Series 3-hour race. We're just about to get the gridding underway. Qualifying was just finished. 3 hours with GT3 cars, BMW roof track, Ford GT3 and McLaren MP4. So 3 hours looking for usually 3 stints, 3 stints, 1 hour each. Some guys might push it to like 1 hour 5-6 minutes. Some guys might do short ones, even though that's weird strategy. But yeah, it happened yesterday. We had we have 3 races, 3 of these 3-hour races each week that we have this. It's a 6-week series. This is the first week of the 6. So basically week number 1, but it's race 3 of week number 1. So we've already had 2 of these such races, and basically there are lots of teams with excellent points and good positions. Still they are in this race and they are competing for better points. Some teams have had misfortune in the first 2 races and they are looking for desperate to get points. But Riku, based on what we saw yesterday, what do you think is going to happen now?
Well, it's gonna be interesting now with Redline in the mix as well. I don't have many words to say about Enzo's qualifying. There's really nothing you can say to that. But,
Yeah, we
we'll
can.
see how
I'll scroll the qualifying results in the screen, by the way. You can see 2/10 on a track where 1/10 or less than a tenth is already a lot of time.
All I'm gonna say is whatever Enzo eats for breakfast, I want that same meal every week too.
But it's extremely close when you look at the top 12 within 0.6 of a second. It's extremely close, and in the race we're used to seeing the roof cars and the McLarens have a superior straight line speeds to the BMWs and Ford GTs. However, BMW is superior at this section right here, the turns 2, 3, 4, 5. They gain insane amount of time compared to McLarens and the roofs. And the Ford GTs are pretty much like underdogs in the race, but they still can carry more top speed in the draft to the end of the straights than the BMWs. So it's an interesting layout. We have cars with fast top speeds. We have cars who are identical in lap times, but who lack the top speed, and then we have cars who are capable of good top speeds when they're in the draft. So interesting scenario we have here.
Oh, and seems like Enzo and I think he's trying with Gregor. At least he was in Monza, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, right.
They've changed to rough.
Yeah, they used the BMW at Monza.
And before anyone says the pop is unbalanced, there's 4 roughs in the front row, so it's all fine.
Yeah, 4 roughs in the front row, but last race we had in Saturday night, I think there was, out of the fastest lap times in all the splits we've had, I think there was 6 fastest lap times in the BMW, 4 for Rolf and 2 for McLaren. So that pretty much eliminates the idea of Rolf being OP, which means overpowered.
Just to give an idea how Glacier is doing.
But to go green.
Yep. Okay. Well.
Yeah, go.
Okay. So first and third, good points already under their belt, but our second team, which is starting third, really needs good points because we've been taken out.
Green.
We've been DNF'd 2 races, and now it's green.
3 hours underway. Turn 1. Kimmo gets actually a good start from P3. Might actually get a P2 going into the turn 1 there. Thinks about it. It's tight. Still on the inside. Yeah, he just takes it safely. Let's settles for P3, which is exactly what he's supposed to be doing now, not taking any extra risks.
We don't want any risk because we only have 150 points under our belt for this car. So.
Yeah, Jesus Syria was pinching really tight on number 1.
And if you want to follow some... oh, we have a crash! Coanda is in the wall! Jordien's into the wall. God damn it,
oh,
dude.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, there's Jordien's right there.
And you will never guess what team was put him in the wall.
No, it could be. It couldn't be.
No, it's not.
No way. It could never
Are
be.
you serious? I'm not gonna say it out loud. You gotta be kidding me.
You're in the old public chat.
So we have
big one in
replay of what happened. Yeah, replay of
we
what
have
happened.
Mac Backum is
Wow.
around. Radicals Online Radicals Online number 1 entry,
who
Mac
could have
Backum is
guessed?
around. He's last.
Where is he?
Well, last. No, almost.
No, but in the results, Radicals Online GT1, I got it. Let's see what happened. Well, Joni probably still doesn't have the replay on.
Oh, what happened in the main straight? Oh dear God, no.
What? There's too much stuff going on. Okay, so
What the hell?
Mac
Welcome to top split, mate.
for the chicane, Matt turned in on Matthew Daniels and them around, and then let's see if there was any contact after that.
Yeah,
it looks like everyone got around it.
Replay right now.
Looks like everyone got around somewhat cleanly, maybe a bit of contact, but no one else was turned around or anything.
Oh fuck, this is not Mike Backum replay. Have to get something else.
Diego
Now we have to
Pomuni
check
was the
what
guy.
happened on the main straight. What happened on the main straight?
Who crashed on the main straight?
Diego
Diego
Pomuni for Team
Pomuni and
GT
everyone else.
Number 10. Oh, and
Sure,
he
it
just
was
suddenly...
Comini?
Yeah, Diego Comini, yeah, or number 10, on the main straight. Basically, Diego was slowing down on the main straight for absolutely zero reason. I guess he got a slowdown, and Williams just couldn't anticipate that and ran right in the back of him. and
I wanna get a
got hit the wall pretty hard. Let's see.
I
who
can't
else was
find the
involved in
goddamn
it.
replay.
Oh, and then Giuseppe Curry from Supernova Racing Team hits him hard. Let's see if anyone else hits him. Oh, and there's also
Beep.
Diego
Radicals
Gonzalez.
Online
I'm
2.
not gonna show replay. I
Involved
can't
as
find
well.
it.
Thomas Sabo for Rigor Racing Interactive was also involved there, and oh, and then he came. What is this mayhem? I can't even. Radicals Online 2 was involved in it. So was James Stevenson from Mad Cow Racing, as well as Norbert Sulzer for Vortex Sim Racing White.
And
Boom, interesting.
Sylvain Pomerad of Radicals Online GT3 second entry. We saw Radicals car spinning, McLaren spinning in the chicane, and Sylvain Pomerad was also involved, and he is very badly damaged. So bad day for
An
Radicals.
interesting first lap to say the least. And what the hell is Enzo doing? He's going 18.8, whereas the second Sicilia is doing 19.8. Like,
Welcome to top split, mate.
what is going on?
There's always a debate in the forums that the top split is a joke, but usually it's not the case. But sometimes when you got the wrong fast people believing they're doing a 20-minute sprint race, this is what you're gonna get. I think Antti Pihlaja is doing is actually having a go maybe into turn 1 there with the BMW. Is gonna get a run.
There's no point in, for Antti to pass him to the SS. If Antti wants to pass Marlene Skolak, I don't think he should do it right now, because he's so much faster. Marlene is so much faster with the BMW in the SS, whereas Antti can easily follow him in the draft because he's so much faster on a straight line. So I think Antti should just settle down and get some good points in P11 and maybe make those moves later.
Yeah, and Antti also is driving for Glacier Racing BES #1 team, who already has, I think, a top 5 finish, so they already have 300 plus points. So
and
they
Tommy's
really
looking
have
for a
no
move
stress.
Course looking for a move on Inex Racing Blue, and they have a
Yeah,
slight
good run here
contact.
this time. Yeah, surely he's going to make a run this, but because it looks like Tommy Nilsson is struggling to keep up the pace with Kimmo and Jesus at the front, so my guess is that he's going to drive it all the way. Voss is going to drive outside line and push into the late brakes, I would think so.
And
Yeah,
he's gonna
he
contact
is
them.
gonna-
Oh no, he
that
backed up.
it wasn't Geeling behind the wheel, so they survived.
And now we got Jake Stelgius also,
I didn't just say
Sturgius also behind Alexander Voss. And Alexander Voss is now under some real pressure,
And-
not only to pass, but also maybe to get passed by Jake.
This isn't even funny. Like, times for Enzo 18.7, Jesus 19.7. Like, whatever Enzo
1
is
second
smoking,
a lot faster.
whatever Enzo is smoking, I really want that.
Yeah, that
Like-
that guy is just unbelievable. It's the same thing happened in the Masters of Endurance races, where people had a chance to bomb the qualifying times the entire week. There was like a 12-hour-long qualifying sessions where you can just nuke qualifying after qualifying, and everyone was within like a tenth. And out comes Enzo Bonito, who blasts half a second faster than anyone else in the world at Suzuka. That was just like nobody can understand, and I do mean nobody understands how this guy is able to pull that kind of laps in the GTs.
I think it's part of his setup philosophy. He just runs a car setup that can be driven by him and only by him. So the way he
Yeah, but
drives
still,
the car
he's-
is so much different than
Yeah, that's why
anybody
it's
else.
great for driver
Breaking the
swap
laws of
racing.
physics. I mean, we're talking about the best drivers in the world, sim racers
Enzo
in the
line
world.
and 18.9.
Yeah, and say Jesus comes over
Jesus
the line
is the
and he
line
responds
and 19.7.
19.7. What the hell, dude?
Like-
8/10 a lap. It's like
I am now
forgot to put the race
convinced
fuel
there
in.
is some grip packs.exe in
Yeah,
the world.
there's a grip bug. It's still a grip bug. That's the only
Must
rational
be.
explanation. We must cancel the results at Road Atlanta. iRacing staff, if you're watching this stream, please cancel the results from Road Atlanta because somebody is using grip bug right now. It's inevitable. Adding to someone using lag switch.
Yeah, I think Enzo is using lag switch and the grid pack to get a great
Yeah,
result.
but the lag switch can only be applied at standing starts.
Yeah, but I think he's managed to make it work also on rolling starts as well as on track. So I think
Tomoki
he's...
Kondo
I
is
think,
making a run into turn 6 right now. P15 against Florian With, who's gonna be victorious here. Goes wide. He's gonna push into turn 7. No way, dude! He is, but he has
That
a good run
seems
now. Maximum
a bit of
draft
rubbing
this time.
there, here and there.
But to cancel that out, we had Tomoki Konna and Florian Voigt as well battling. We're watching that right now. But also to say that I think he's using lag switch to create the grip line.
Yeah, true. He's probably also playing poker at the same time, which creates more lag and more grip. Oh,
Whoa!
and there's a contact between Tomoki and Florian there, but still too wide going into the last corner. This is not gonna end well. Yeah, he backs
Good
off.
job, Tomoki.
He gets a run for the turn 1 though. He set it up. Wait, is this
No,
a 3-hour race
that was
or?
a block. That was a block.
That was a block, yeah. And
why
Tomoki is
is
now mad
somebody-
and he's gonna pass into the... Don't go into turn number 2, Tomoki.
Whoa,
Don't-
dude. Wow.
Turn number 2.
Yeah,
Okay.
turn number 2 is really the do place for Tomoki here, but yeah, it's.
I think it's do or die now.
Yeah, do or die. What was I supposed to? What was I gonna say? Your
interesting.
corner number 2 made me forget what I was gonna do. No.
I
So-
think Tom is gonna look into Kimmo right now.
Yeah. But
Oh,
Kimmo
Jesus
is
has picked it
not-
up as well. 19.0. He actually was faster than Enzo last lap.
Yep. But yeah, there are a few guys who
Yari is
currently-
telling. I hope Yari is telling Kimmo that not to race me if he goes for
Yeah, if he
which
goes
he
for
is.
Poya. Yeah, just let him go. Just let him go. Yeah,
Good, thank
one.
you.
I mean, 3-hour race, 10 minutes into the race, no point in trying to fight if someone is clearly faster. Racing hard is just no point in this position, in my opinion.
Yeah, and he's got Alexander Voss behind him right now and Jake Sturgis as well. And I think if Kimmo just keeps up to Tommy's pace, and I think he should be able to do that easily because Kimmo is lightning fast, then I think they're in for a great result so far. But it's a 3-hour race and anything can happen. And I do not want to employ the commentator's curse.
Yeah,
especially.
don't talk about anything about possibilities and etc. Let's just keep quiet about that. I don't want anyone.
It's a great
anyone
result
in
so
the
far.
race to
10
have
minutes into a 3-hour race.
Well, it's a start. And also another interesting thing and maybe a bit surprising is that Jesus Cecilia is not only in the race but has not lost any position and is driving with a car that looks intact so far.
How much is the strength of field is asked in the chat. I can have a look at it, but it's not accurate because it will change as soon as we have more drivers driving in the cars. But the current strength of field we have is, whoa, it's 5,736.
Holy mother of God.
But like I said, that's gonna drop as soon as the rest of the drivers sit in the cars. But still, I would think the strength of field at the end, if the previous races are any base information to be used here, I would say it was gonna be like 5,400. So if it's 5,400, we're talking about 340 points for the winner.
That is a lot. I mean,
what's going on with the Glacier Racing 3 team, by the way?
well, we're not driving today because, well, I don't think we were in condition
Oh
to
yeah,
drive today.
you got the top 10 last night.
Yeah, we got 9th place last night thanks to Joni Takanen and, well, we got 255 points, so, well,
No,
it could
of
be
course
more.
we have a good broadcast. We're Glacier TV! It's me and Riku! There's no way we're gonna be able to do a boring broadcast.
Yeah, hi.
And I'm here as well.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
Riku
but
finally,
nobody cares.
Riku doesn't have to say hi to Jonas this time because I'm here already. Wrong Jonas, but hey, it's Jonas.
Moi Joonas. Niin.
Niin.
Niin. That's
Yeah,
an
silly.
team
Oh,
speak
and
in
Alexander
show.
going
Guys,
for move on,
Alexander Voss is
Kimmo.
gonna for a pass. Just don't start fighting off. Yeah, good one, good one. And one of the key elements here, some of the guys are from the beginning they're pushing very fast, like we see Tommy Nilsson, Alexander Voss doing. It's a 3-hour race, and some people might be actually saving fuel to the best of their abilities, only to get. If you're in a train like when it's looking right now, Patrick Peeler is the last guy in the train right here in P7, 4th guy in the train. So for him, there's no point to try to maximize his push right now, since the train in front of him is still doing decent lap times. There's absolutely no point to try to pass the BMW and the RAF at this point. More rational is to follow them at the end of the straights and lift early, save as much fuel as possible, and then have equal pace to the guys, but with less fuel consumption. then repeat that twice maybe, and then you have the last stint where you have to only do a splash of fuel compared to other guys needing a full tank, which in a 3-hour race can make a hell of a difference.
Yeah, certainly. And I think it's very important to not only know that difference and calculate the fuel, but also play the game wisely. And as Kimmo is showing here, I think
Shube is having a run, by the way, but go on.
Yeah, and passes cleanly. Wow, this is the apex.
What the hell? My camera pack is up right now. Yeah.
Dive pumped in the chicane and really burned his tires.
That was not a dive bomb.
Oh, he actually passed on Jake.
Jake the Snake is actually being passed by Patrick Wheeler at the same time.
Yeah,
just as I was saying,
Pihler
there's no point to pass, he goes for a pass.
Yeah, and Pihler was the guy who I was talking about missing his apex by country mile because he went really late on the brakes, like really committed in here and just basically trusted that Jake won't turn into the corner. And this is really bad for Jake because you can see right now he is behind the McLaren, which is, as I know, slower in the essence than the BMW is. But also, the BMW doesn't have the advantage that the McLaren and the roof have in the straight line. So if Jake makes a mistake, he can really easily drop on the draft just because he can't just save fuel on straight line and cross the superior so much.
And Keiko Schumann now has a good run. As you can see, the BMW is superior. He's got a late break into turn 6 there. That was a pretty uncharacteristically aggressive move there by Keiko Schumann in a 3-hour race. But like I said, in this race, now you can see when they go the back straight, the McLaren literally drives into the horizon even with the maximum draft here. But the BMW is superior through the turns 2 to 5. And you saw up there, Keiko Schumann actually had a hell of a run to the McLaren going into turn 6 there. And that's the strong side of BMW. That's why they are so fast in a race, and that's why they gather the fastest lap times, because they are able to hang in the draft on the straights, and when you get to the twisty section, the BMW is really flying. And I'm Backman, yeah. And
what's the question?
I'm really exactly that cheeky, whatever. I'm exactly that. I don't know who you are, and I bet you don't have the balls to tell me that.
He's our favorite Star Mazda driver.
Oh! Wow, dude! How you doing, man? Wrecking any Brands hatches lately?
Are you... How are you doing? I think... Why are you going? Why are you not driving in this race, by the way? Because I think you would really look great in the roof. As opposed to on your roof.
Ouch. The shots.
Okay, yeah. Fat Shire. But yeah, let's focus on what's happening in the lead right now. Tommy Nilsson is still chasing Bonito with Jesus Cecilia. Jesus Cecilia right in the P2 there. And go on, if your idea is to join the stream and then just join the Bash League for 3 hours, I can make it very short for you. So just quit it.
We can give you the AUR treatment.
You can prove you're worthy on the track, not in the chat. But yeah, Inex Racing and is that like a Spanish word, Darcontigo or what? How do you pronounce that? But yeah, let's just say Darcontigo. Yeah, they are doing pretty decent lap times. Actually, they're only down to Bonito by 0.3 a lap this time. Tommy Nilsson only 0.2 a lap, but that's because he's following Jesus in the draft. Behind them, Alexander Voss, Kimmo Suominen, they're matching the lap times of Jesus currently. Patrick Wheeler now being past Jake Sturgis is
surprise, he's slower
4/10 slower. Yeah, he's slower than Jake, but now Jake is struggling to get past him because of the straight line speed. So he really has to try to pull it off in the second sector there.
Going, you're a joke, mate, so you don't even need to say anything.
Yeah.
And we all know your racing abilities.
And if you're a child enough not to fall into silence and just follow the stream, I can make the stream short for you. So yeah, you showed what you can do in Star Mazda. Everyone saw it, so you don't have to show it again. Hopefully that will save some incident points from others. But yeah. But like I said, this stream is not for your Bash Fest, so I can make it short for you if you don't stop.
Meanwhile, Florian
hey, what happened to there's one guy falling a little bit. Is it Tanahado or Who's
No,
in the red
Florian Voigt
car?
dropped a lot in the. He's now P16 for some reason. No, I don't think it's anything new, but something happened to him a couple of laps ago. But it's. I think it's just normal for him. I thought there was a big wreck.
But yeah.
So we have lost a viewer, apparently.
No! Oh no, as Darth Vader would say, no!
I think it's really refreshing that this time you're the one handing out the Chiquitas now.
Yeah.
Yeah, he got the
Now,
banhammer.
let's have a look at Jake Sturgis right now fighting with Patrick Beehler. Patrick actually last time he did a 19.5, so they caught Alexander Voss by 3/10. But let's have a look at the updated lap times. Patrick did. Alexander does a 0.5, Beehler does a 20.3. That was a super slow lap. And now let's have a look at how Jake. Now when they got to uphill, this is where BMW is really on pace. Just look at as soon as they go to the SS, Jake is really able to tighten up that gap. He's actually able to get a hell of a run up the hill. Now, when they get to the left-hander right here, just look at how fast he gets through here.
I'm actually surprised a bit how much Kimmo and Alexander are struggling.
He didn't get that good a run this time, but he gained like 1 or 2 tenths. So, but that's not where Jake wants to be, because currently the Patrick Beehler is costing him a lot of time. Unlike in the previous race, Patrick was actually at a decent pace. Now for some reason he's struggling a little bit.
Might be the weather too.
Yeah, might be.
We have 38 degrees Celsius track temperature. It's really hot, and if your setup is a bit like driving the McLaren, it's really a car that you need a cold weather and a hot weather setup for. Because unlike in most cases, in hot weather, the car simply doesn't want to turn. It's not loose, it just doesn't want to turn. And I think he's struggling a bit with understeer there, as it shows. Because we have really high track temperature.
Think about this. In 15 laps, Enzo has pulled a 9.1 second gap.
Let's just have a look at one lap on board of Enzo.
That is absolutely insane.
Riku, go on board Enzo and talk us through the lap here. Naturally, you're unable to match his pace, but
just wait a moment until he comes to front straight. I'll give a lap commentary. But
dude, I'm already at the roll bar.
Well, then
fine,
you have to
I'll
wait.
go to the TV cam.
Then you have to wait until.
You're happy?
Yes, I'm happy.
Good. Give me a candy. Spider Pig does whatever a Spider Pig does. By the way, the DNFs you're seeing on the screen might not actually be accurate. That's because of the iRacing replay spooling, which is causing some drivers in a large field to show a DNF. So the DNFs in the mid-pack are not accurate.
Okay, now Enzo is coming to the final corner of the track. It's a very fast kink. In qualifying trim full throttle, but as you can hear, Enzo lifts slightly. Turn 1 is a really fast right-hander that goes uphill. It kind of dips into apex, so you can really get the car to turn in nicely if you hit it just right. Full throttle up here, and there's a blind left-hander, which is very hard to see where to turn in. Lift early, brake early for this one, and make sure you hit the apex, because it's very important to get the line right for this complex. Very slippery, as you can see. Yep, in the left-hander, have to be really careful with the throttle. And now the infamous turn 5. Enzo actually uses curbing, which is very interesting on the entry, and yeah, that can be very hard corner. If you hit the outside curb wrong, you can be shot to the wall. What we call Lesmos, 2 really fast right-handers. First one in 3rd gear, well, not really fast. Second one is a bit of like a hairpin in 2nd gear, so not too fast. And now we come to a really long back straight, where there's a bit of time to relax and think about life or fuel or whatever you want to think about. And then coming to the chicane, or the carousel as Oni Hagner will call it. Try to cut the inside curb as much here, and then make sure you hit the because curbing is kind of cambered in the right-hander, so make sure you try to hit that to maximize grip. And then you go full throttle here, and a slight lift in the last corner. Through the hairpin, a slight lift in the hairpin, and then you're finished with the lap. And that was a 119.2. Hell of a fast lap.
Yeah, still a 2/10 faster than Jesus is able to pull off in the P2.
Also joining us in the commentary booth is the other driver and the actually really fast driver, the fast part of Glacier Racing BS3, Joni Takanen. Welcome, Joni.
Well, hello.
He's not fast. I'm able to beat his ass in the Solstice every time.
Yeah, and I beat him in Speculation Ford as well, so he can't be that fast.
Yeah, I'm pretty slow.
Takanen, you suck!
Come on, Takanen, you're not even pretty, you're just slow.
Yeah.
Oh, and we missed it a lap ago. Patrick Pichler did let Stake by 4 position.
Oh yeah.
Maybe there
now
was
actually
some.
Jake is escaping.
Maybe there was some inter-team communication about how it would be faster and Patrick would stay in the draft, but as you can tell, that obviously failed.
Yeah, Patrick is really struggling with the grip right now.
I'm really surprised how Alexander and Kim are really struggling at the moment. I would expect them to go slightly faster.
Looking at the gains currently, Glacier Racing has dropped 2 positions, just taking it safe. Thrustmaster Mibano Racing down 3 positions, but very subtle minor changes currently. Falcon GP, Keika Shube, trained by Keika Shube, now up to 7 positions. Forazer Simsports up 7 positions. So at least Falcon GP and Forazer are doing a pretty nice job with Keika Shube and David Williams on the screen right now.
It's Coanda, not Forazer. Forazer is the sponsor.
You know what I'm talking about!
I have no idea what you guys are talking about, but go on.
Yeah, we haven't really covered anything outside of the top 10 mostly, but
I have. I've showed it on screen for like half the stint.
Oh,
well, Antti Pihlaja is in
Cage in
311.
16th. I'm really surprised about that. I mean, isn't he like a really fast GT2 or Corvette driver back in the day?
Yeah, to Rogers Kev
Yeah, I
in the
think.
chat.
That's gonna. We have spin at the top. Who was it?
Was it
top,
Voss?
Voss,
Voss, indeed.
Voss.
And he comes on track. Bro, what is he doing?
Replay.
It's Mibano who hits John Hall, and wow, that was dirty.
Well,
Let's have a look at the
that
replay
was
now.
really dirty, and he returned to the track and didn't lose any.
Oh, and he hit
positions,
the
so-
exact right rear of Mibano Red. I think their day is over.
Oh,
No, it's,
what a
just
shame.
Riku, just talk us through. Going
Oh,
to turn 6
snap.
right now, so slow motion. Talk us through it.
Well, let's see. Alexander goes a bit
Wow, we
wide
bounced
in
us
the
off
exit
the,
of. Yeah,
entry
he goes a
curve.
bit wide in turn 6, hits the inside wall on the apex of turn 7, then parks it on the apex, then he tries to turn it around and comes right in front on the track, right in front of Mibano Red, Trustmaster Mibano Red, and that was really something uncalled for. You just can't do that. That was such a poor rejoin by Alexander, taking out 2 cars.
Yeah, and he's aiming directly to the apex. That was very, very bad.
Yeah,
That's
that
some
wasn't
next level.
smart.
That's some next level rookie stuff. I mean, come on, dude.
Yeah, and it caused a huge pile-up there. As you can see, 6-car pile-up only because one guy decides to join the track too early. We saw that in the previous race as well, where the red McLaren, I can't remember the name, Arndt Wensing?
Yeah, Daniel Arndt
Arndt Wensing just went straight across the track at the turn 5. He spun there and drove straight across the track, hit a guy coming from behind, hit him. The guy drove straight into his front door, and that was the race over. So that's just very unsportsmanlike behavior.
That's also really surprising because Core Motorsport isn't usually involved as a team, or Alexander Voss as a driver isn't a dirty driver. Doesn't have the reputation for that kind of stuff. You know, some certain teams and drivers have reputation for that kind of stuff. Some called for, some less called for, but still have a reputation. And to me, Voss was one of the good guys, but might have to think again as Alexander Voss drives into the pit lane now. After only half an hour. This is a bit odd.
And now, because of that, Kimmo had a really slow lap there. He had to look out for Alexander, so he did.
Hang on. Rico, I'm interrupting you quickly. Just Alexander Voss comes into the pit lane. He parks his car into the last box, which isn't even a pit box, and then takes a tow, exits the car and takes a tow. So third day is over, I think.
Yeah, they're done. But yeah, what that caused was that some people got wrecked, mainly Mivana Red, and it was Marin S. Kolak's team. I forgot what team he was driving for. But Glacier Racing now had a slow lap because he had to slow down for Alexander, and is now 16.4 seconds behind Enzo, or Team Redline, and that means Jake is now in the draft of Kimmo. And
yeah, Jake is doing an awesome job. 0.6s, and he's currently the second fastest guy on the track.
Wow. That's... wow.
Rutger's only problem with this, I mean, I guess the top split could have marshals, but it'd be unfair for the other splits. And,
yeah, I mean, we have tons of splits for each race.
And they're gonna have marshal. They're gonna have marshal in the actual World Championship series when that time comes.
But yeah, it's true. There's no algorithm that can determine who's at fault. They have talked about this dozens of times in the forums, but there's no algorithm possible.
I mean, it'd be nice to have marshals, but
determine a fault.
Yeah, it'd be nice to have marshals, but you need to have marshals for every goddamn split to make it fair. And they 2 marshals per split, and there's 7 splits. That's 14 people on a Sunday. It just can't happen, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But we will have live stewards, I think.
Yeah, definitely. The championship
yeah.
will have definitely live stewarding.
Yeah, but that's not gonna have 7 splits either. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just gonna have the 40 teams that make it.
But to review of what's happening here, you can see it in the side panels. Redline in the lead, Dar Contigo in second place, Inex Racing Blue third, Glacier Racing number 2 car in fourth, Inex Racing Yellow in fifth. So Inex Racing is actually doing pretty good, P3 and P5. And yeah, that, as you can see, Friction Racing DNF, that's not a DNF, neither is Panda Motorsports. That's the data bug that we just have to deal with. That's nothing we can do about that. iRacing's data is just dropping off every now and then some drivers, so that's why it shows a DNF. It will fix it at the time they reach the next sector mark, but yeah. About the commentary tonight, it's a 3-hour race. We have been here for the first half hour with you. There might be situations where there's no commentary at all. We're taking a breath, or we're spotting for our team, which is currently the Glacier Racing 2 car. The one car has its own crew. Yeah, so there might be sections where there's no commentary at all. I will try to focus on 2 iRacing simulators at the same time. So if there's something happening, or if you want a specific driver on the screen or different camera angles, just feel free to ask in the chat.
And thank you for 45 viewers. Didn't expect it to be this popular.
45?
Yep.
Woohoo!
Yep. We have 45 people.
Do we actually get a quality bar now?
I don't think so, but who the hell watches this?
No. We need quality bar.
We need a quality bar, even though we're not.
We already have a protein bar. I need a quality bar.
That was weak sauce.
You see what I tried to do there.
Yeah, I would like to apologize in advance as well as already for the puns and wordplays. They are bad and we should feel bad. However, we don't.
Yeah, you're right, Mars. If that's how you... Mars, that's how I read your name. Yeah, you're right. In the qualification races, people tend to take risks that they shouldn't take, especially 3-hour race, and we already seen in the first 30 minutes. Even in the first 15 minutes, people drive like it was a 30-minute sprint. So there are really bad endurance racing drivers in terms of they are super fast, but they just don't have the understanding of what you actually have to do to survive a 3-hour race.
Yeah, and another issue is that, as Rutger said, like some people already have good points under their belt, like Core had, who else has good points? Inex Racing Blue has, and a point from earlier races. They can take they can take a lot of risks in these races. Whereas teams like us, who have struggled the last 2 races, we can't really afford to take a risk, and people can just take risks with it. They already have like 300 points. That's unfortunate.
Julian Moreno is actually doing a good job right now. The Iberica racing team currently in P7, and I don't think they started P7. They started P8. So yeah, no, well, he has kept his place.
Wow, massive gains.
Yeah, but looking at the lap times, he's actually matching the lap time of a P3, and so he's actually doing pretty good job right now. And if he's able to maintain that gap to the Patrick Wheeler's P6 car after the first round of pit stops, we might actually see him leaping a few places.
And I just want to ask, do we have the points for Vortex Sim Racing White? Because Vortex is quite a big team, and I'm just looking at Norbert Solcher in the Inter number 5 car. Norbert Sulzer, who is currently in P32. His car looks, well, it reminds me of Elon Musk's HPD from a few years back. And it's really like a Batmobile almost. And he's still driving. He's clearly a bit of a risk for himself and for other drivers, but I'm wondering, why is he just going on because he wants to go on because of determination?
Or he just wants SR.
Or safety rating, yeah, but I'm just also wondering, does Vortex have a previous finish? Or is this actually their last chance to get points?
I would think they do.
Okay.
I can. I'll see if I can. The team session thingy is screwing up pretty badly, but I'll try to look. They are in the top splits anyway, but.
Oh, and look at Norbert Sulzer's McLaren in 32nd position, car number 5.
That's
that
what I was just
up.
talking about.
Yeah, he was just talking about it.
Really? I just
What?
came back. I wasn't listening. And that car is so beat up. It's pretty funny.
It is. It's like a racing.
What was the team name? Vortex.
Vortex Sim Racing White.
Vortex, red car DNF the last race. Yeah, Vortex Sim Racing White finished the previous race in 24th position. They only had 127 points. And looking at that point is actually grey in the score sheets. That actually means that it's their best result yet. So their best result currently is P24 with 127 points. Finishing in the P22 or 23 in this race, or well, I won't. If they keep their car on the track right now, they will gain a few places because there's no way the top 20 cars will all finish. There will always be wrecks at the later part of the race, but it doesn't take much for them to improve the points.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, and that's a really interesting point to make. Because even though you have 3 chances in each week, it's only 3 chances, and it only takes 3 mistakes ultimately to ruin your entire season, entire endurance qualifier season. I mean, it requires just one guy to, I don't know, hit the wall on the pit exit, or just spin their car in a fast turn or whatever, or even do a more human mistake. And it's really tough for Vortex Sim Racing White right now, but hats off to Norbert Sulzer for giving it a fair shot. I mean, he's doing a good job of getting out of other people's way. Obviously, that McLaren is not in the best of shapes. His previous lap was 1:26.2, so yeah, he's way off best. He's at least trying, and well, hats off to him. I hope to see that car finish well.
Well, Zalox, there you have it, Jake Sturgis. You asked BMW, so there you have the P4 battle. I don't think it's a battle this much because I think Jake doesn't want to pass Kimmo there. Kimmo is able to escape on the straights. As you can see right now, he will pull off quite a gap, but Jake will close it off coming out of the chicane, or after the main straight. He will be right at the tail again at the turn 5. But I really don't think Jake wants to pass Kimmo here, because Kimmo is still lapping 20 flats where Enzo Bonito is now 19.9, so Kimmo still has the same pace to the leaders, and Jake is actually benefiting from the fact that he's being dragged at the long straights. So as long as Kimmo maintains a good pace, Jake is actually wanting to stay here. And now we have action. Christian Tanahado is going for P17. Ivo Hoveler is on the outside. The rough car of Tanahado is on the inside. Clean braking into the chicane. And P17 for Christian.
Yeah, clean overtaken, and Christian Tanahado is really doing a good job of staying in there and getting positions, and he's a pro driver as well, so that's interesting.
Kimmo actually failed the turn 5 entry there a little bit. I wonder if Jake is going to exploit that situation right now. Let's have a look. They're coming to the turn 6. Yeah, no, he's just lifting. He doesn't even want to think about getting past there. But Kimmo actually took a funky line in the turn 5 there. He didn't want to use the entire track, which there's a bottleneck right at before the turn 5 entry. You have to brake while turning. So even the slightest, if you leave like a 4 inches of empty track to your right side, it will compromise your exit quite a bit. You have to lift way more than you would otherwise. So that was actually a weird thing that Kimmo chose to use, not to use that edge of the track.
Be right back. I head over to the one. Jari, pass on some information. Can you move me back in about a minute.
Yep.
Or give me 2 laps.
I will give you 3 laps if you're very polite, mate. That's what an Indian driver would say. But yeah, let's we'll have a look at the P10, P9 battle here. Glacier Racing 1 car of Antti Pihlaja in P9 and John Hall, Phoenix Motorsports rough car in P10. And these guys are also lapping, well, Antti is lapping identical to the P8 car of Tomoki Konno in front of him, 1 second and a half in front of him, but John Hall behind Antti, last lap he did 19.7, which is equal to Enzo Bonito. Of course, John has a draft, Enzo does not, but still he's the second fastest car on the track on that lap. So it will be interesting to see if John actually is wanting to get past the McLaren as soon as possible, if he has the pace. So for those of you who have joined late, those of you who have just joined late into the stream, welcome to the unofficial Glacier TV broadcast of the third Blanche Pond endurance race in Road Atlanta. This is the first of 6 weeks of qualifier for the 2016 Pro Series, when actually Antti Pihlaja there possibly had a slowdown, or then he just decided it's faster to let John Hall past. But this is the first of 6 weeks. Each week has 3 starts. So this is the third of this week's three starts. So there are teams with high points already, so they have nothing to lose, and teams with bad results from the first 2 races. So lots of teams in this race also to improve their previous bad points, and only the best results of the 3 races count. So it doesn't lose you anything to race all 3. In any case, if you're up for it. Currently driving the red line black car is Enzo Bonito in the lead, blasting some insanely fast lap times. Even though Jesus Cecilia actually beat him at the last lap by 2/10. Let's have a look at the updated interval. Enzo actually did a 20.3. What the hell happened there? That was the first.
Well, I think he shot his tires.
Yeah, because now he's doing 20.3, whereas Jesus Cecilia behind is doing 19.5.
And he's sliding all over the place. I mean, just look at his last S's.
I haven't looked at his last S's because I was looking at John Hall.
Yeah, but
now I'm looking at Enzo Bonito.
He's having a lot of trouble with the tires.
Yeah, we saw in the very, very early laps he is able to pull insanely fast times, but we saw, well, Rico was commentating the opening lap, or the hot lap for him. We saw he's continuously overdriving or oversteering the car, or countersteering, so the car is very slippery, which actually in the end has probably cost him the best grip of his rear tires, and that can be dramatically bad in Road Atlanta. In Monza you can get away pretty much anything, but that's bad for Enzo.
And someone asked, is the Porsche faster than other cars?
Yes, on the straights.
I mean, on the straights, yes, but it depends. Like Monza, yes, it is a bit overpowered, but here, I'm pretty sure that in Road Atlanta, actually McLaren is the faster car in qualifying. Now, obviously, McLaren has the issue that the tires, you can very easily wear out your tires in the McLaren, whereas rough is a bit more lenient on that, and rough is pretty fast at the end of the stint, and he has a top speed, so it's very hard to pass a rough. Meanwhile, it's easy to pass in a rough. So
yeah, with the McLaren, you are burning your tires so badly that last 10 laps will be a horrible nightmare if you're going too fast.
Yeah,
as you can see on the T screen, Marcus Chirac is saving fuel. He had a good run on Matthias Andrius, but he wasn't even thinking about passing. He's just sticking behind and saving fuel. Actually, Marcus is pulling into the pits with... What is this strategy for Core Motorsports? 18 minutes until we hit the first hour mark and he's already pitting. There's no way they're able to survive with a 2 pit stop. They have to pull a 3 pit stop race here. This is unbelievable strategy. I mean, few teams did this last night and they actually ended up losing a ton of places because of the fourth pit stop.
Oh, and Dom, can we get a confirmation that Gregor is going to be the driver for the red line? Or have you changed it since Monza?
Yeah, for those who are unaware, we had already had the season opener week for the Blanche Pond endurance series at Monza. We did a full week, but there was some mishaps with the service, so that's why they cancelled the results at Monza. And this is now officially the opening week. Basically, it's a week 2, but they changed it to week 1, and nobody has any base points before this week. So drivers had the teams had the opportunity to modify their list of drivers and also re-choose their car to be used in the race or in the series. Whatever car you pick for the race 1, you also have to put that same car on the track for each and every week. And meanwhile, Jake Sturgis is now passing the Kimmo. I think that's nice. Yeah, I think he realized that Kimmo is struggling, so he really wants to push it now.
Hopefully Kimmo can stay in the back of him and save fuel.
Yeah, at least on the straights, there's no way they will do. Just look at him. Just look at the draft between Kimmo and Inex. Let's have a look at the.
Hopefully Kimmo won't try to
just look at the draft. It was 0.7 at the start of the straight, and now it's 0.2, and he's already lifting.
I can confirm Dom Duhan's confirmation that Gregor will be sitting in the car at some point. I suppose Enzo is going for the second stint as well, since he's Enzo. But somebody has to drive one stint for the team, so that's gonna be Gregor. Nice. He was struggling in the BMW in the Monza, so
that's actually good for Kimmo, because Kimmo is able to say now. Kimmo was able to pull, was at the pace of doing 46 full laps, and now he has a possibility to go for 47th lap if he decides to do so. But just look at how much the BMW drags the distance apart from the rough going through the turn 2 of 5. That's just insane.
It's insane.
But now when they go to the long stretch, just watch him drag it back. It's 0.7 now. Have a look at the relative gap in the red box. 0.7 after the turns 2 to 5. So that was half a second that he pulled between turns 2 to 5. But here, have a look at this. 0.7 a second. And now they go to the long straight. Just watch the gap.
It's 200 kilometers, and Kimmo is already at 200 kilometers as well.
0.6, 0.5, and he's not even a proper draft. Now he's in a proper draft. 0.4, 0.3.
Jake is 250, Kimmo is 260 by then.
0.2, so half a second gained in one long straight. But the same half a second goes to the benefit of the BMW during cornering.
Oh. Now Kimmo got a slowdown penalty, without even a 1x.
He got the chicane just slightly too much. That's the problem with loaded servers in iRacing. Sometimes when you have these crowded races, the stress in the servers cause the car. He didn't get a 1x, which means an off-track officially recorded by the servers. He didn't even get an off-track, but still the car went wide enough for the server to think that was a cut through of the track, so he had to slow down.
I really hope they change.
Good things, Alex, that you have tried roadside, because both oval and road have actually their attractions. But I still prefer road racing above ovals. But I've also had a ton of fun on ovals.
In ovals, you go further to the left, then you fall asleep in 40 laps. That's my view on ovals. No hate to Reno.
Jake had actually a lucky one in the straight. He actually got the draft from the lapped car. So
I really wish he's gonna pull away, but I really wish iRacing would change now with especially the anti-cheat that they built in, like they would change the slowdown penalties to be client side. So that would fix a lot of the buggy slowdowns. Like they have with the 1x to be client side. Yeah, so now Kim was almost 2 seconds behind the BMW, the Beamer, as they say.
Yeah, still P5 though, 2.2 seconds in front of Patrick Pichler in P6. Julian Moreno is in P7, and he's currently doing, Patrick and Julian are doing low 120s, so the things are
was being severely held up by the back marker.
Yeah, things are leveling out pretty nicely. Enzo is still doing low 20s, and Jesus is doing 19.6s, so the gap is now, I think it was up to 10 point something, and now it's down to 8.9, so Enzo is really struggling with his tires right now.
It was well past 10 seconds at one point.
What happened to Guada car 18? Good question. That was at the very start, wasn't it the audience?
It was the first lap they got Mivanoed.
First lap in turn 5. Yeah, they got Mivanoed. They just basically Mivano in front of them spun out of coming out of turn 5, and they just door slammed the Guada car.
Not spun, but was really loose.
I'm off to help Jari for a second, or the team. So
yep.
you guys keep up for a while.
So it's just you and me.
Yeah, it's just us. We have no idea what camera's Blackman is gonna show, so apologies for that. Seems
well,
like
I have the
Kimmo is
stream
also
open on
struggling. Yeah, I have it open as well, but it's 15 second delayed, so... Kimmo is really struggling at the moment with the tires, doing 20.4s as well. Jesus is doing really well, he's managed his tires, he's doing 19.6s, whereas Enzo is also struggling above 20s, 20.1 last lap. So... yeah, that's what's going on at the moment. And in case you guys are just joining in, this is not an official Issue TV broadcast. We felt like, you know, everyone's doing those view broadcasts, but no one's doing a proper broadcast of the race, so we figured we would do that to give you guys some coverage who can get into the spectator slots, because they fill out quite fast.
And just to tell you about the professional level of this broadcast, is that I just went off to get some bread and coffee, so...
Indeed. And I had no information on that. Kimmo picked up some pace, 19.9 now. Tommy Nilsson doing 20.1. Jesus doing 20.0, and Enzo back in the pace with 19.8. But seems like his car is so loose that those laps are gonna be a few in between.
Yeah, Enzo looks really loose right now. And it's somewhat surprising to see even Enzo making, should I say mistakes, or the car turning loose, should I say mistakes with the over-aggressive setup. I mean, to me he has the reputation of not only being fast, but also being really consistent while doing those alien lap times. I mean,
we have hit over 50 viewers, thanks guys for tuning in.
Oh hey, half a century mark.
Surprisingly popular.
Yeah, it's. I find it interesting, and clearly there was this also a good message to iRacing that yeah, people want to see this endurance race being broadcasted.
Oh, and Enzo with a 19.5. How does he do it?
Driving fast, and he's really loose in turn 1. Wow. He was just basically came across the line 19.5, man, and his first thought is, man, I got to go faster, and power slides up the hill, exiting turn number 1. I mean, I was watching him on chase cam, and he was just sliding while keeping his foot flat on the throttle. That guy is insane. Oh, and as Enzo Bonito is driving around and he's catching up to Juan BES of Vortex Sim Racing Blue, and I must say, Vortex Sim Racing doesn't have the best of races going on right now. Their best effort right now is their red team, Vortex Sim Racing Red, number 03 car, which started from P26 and is now on P18. But then, we also touched earlier about the Vortex Sim Racing White, and their early misfortunes. They're right now running in P31, but still running, and Vortex Sim Racing Blue is currently in P28. So Vortex has some really good drivers, but it just goes to show that it's not only the ultimate pace and the quality of the drivers, but also the decisions that the drivers make and the circumstances that affect the end result. And Riku, I think we might see some really good teams actually missing the cut by the end of the season.
Yeah, I mean 40 spots, and it is heavily contested, and like one bad week and you're done. Like, it's so, like, unless you're a top 10 team, if you screw up 1 week and you don't get many points, it's over for you. I mean, there's no drop week, so you can't rely on that, and everyone's gonna be 3 attempts, so everyone's gonna be keep getting good points. So can't really screw up any week, as you really are a top 10 team.
Yeah, no, I mean, as we're seeing, as we touched on Vortex Sim Racing White, which I believe is one of tier top teams, and they have some really good drivers in there. I'm just gonna check their lineup for this race in a moment. It has Andy Gordon, Norbert Sulzer, and Justin Brunner. And now Norbert Sulzer is a GD veteran, and Justin Brunner is last season's Star Mazda overall champion. Won the Apex Online Racing Star Mazda League and won the iRacing Star Mazda Championship as well, for I believe second time in a row, or first time rather, no first time. And so they have some really good and fast drivers in there. But their misfortune in all of these 3 races, their best result is 130 or 30 something points for this week. Well, they might get a better result today, but their car is also looking really bad. It's a real racing, so to say. It's a real wreck, and they have some real misfortune this week. So they might be one of the first surprise teams to really be close to missing the cut team. And would also be, would be interesting if something happens. I don't want to curse it, but even the thought of something happening to Kimmo in this first team, or something happening to Glacier Racing in the second team, and their best result is, I think, something like, what is it? How many points?
Sorry, what are we talking about?
Your team's points for this week.
We have 150 at the moment, so we need a good result.
Yeah, and that's also another example of a team really needing a good result, and it's an interesting dynamic test that there might be a third race where some teams are in it just for the fun or trying to improve their already good point total. Case in point, Glacier Racing has won. And in the same race, they might be even driving against some drivers and teams who really desperately need a good finish. They not only need a finish, but they need a good finish, like over 200 points, clearly. So it's an interesting situation.
To reply on the stream chat, how many Phoenix teams there are, I do not know. In the top split right now, I can see the Motorsports Rough, the Phoenix Motorsports Red, and that's it. And Phoenix Motorsport Red, I believe, has... No, they're still racing 1 lap behind, but there's 2 in the top split at the moment, and for Glacier teams, we have actually 4. But the 4th team, the guys have a bit lower I rating, so they don't really make the top split that often, or at all, really. Or the
but it's still funny because the... I can show Enzo on board, by the way.
He's really loose at the moment.
Yeah, funny thing about this split thing, by the way, since we have 7 splits, which is rare for roadside events, but since we have so many splits, the top split, second split, and even third split actually give you pretty decent points. The strength of fields in the lower splits. Oh wow, Howler is in trouble in turn 5, by the way. Ivo Howler, he gets into trouble. Have a look at a replay of that, but the strength of fields in the top 3 splits are big enough.
There's a big mayhem in turn 7. Big mayhem in turn 7. It's
by who?
Christian Tanahato by Friction Racing Bandits, number 777.
I'll jump into that after showing this. So they were too wide with the Radicals BMW at the SS, and there was just no room. Ivo didn't leave the Radical enough room, but let's have a look at what happened to Tanahato, was it? Yeah, what happened to Tanahato?
I believe
Nandes of Red Devolution Racing hit him in the back on the entry into turn 7.
Oh yeah, wow.
He got spun around, and then Florian Voice for PR Racing Team 112 hits him, T-bones him basically, and puts him on his roof.
Yeah, that was bad.
He actually turns around. But still, his day is pretty much over.
Have another look at that. Yeah, that was unfortunate. That was nothing of their doing, so that's what basically happened to Glacier Racing 2 team yesterday.
So, we have 57 minutes of racing, which means we have only a lap, 2 or 3 laps away from the pit stops. So the pit cycle should be opening up right around.
Wow, that's a late break. Looking at the high camera, that's a late break by the McLaren. Yeah, Makiko, 256 points for winning the split 2 is like a that's the
top 10
point.
finish.
That's usually the points that you would get winning the top split. So that just shows how competitive this is.
Yeah, I mean, the strength of field for this race calculated was 5,700. Now, obviously, it only takes into account the people who registered their teams for the session, so it's gonna go down a bit in the actual results once the sim figures out everyone who's raced in this session. But that just
every
gives
time
you an idea.
somebody new sits in the car and calculates it again. I'll have a look at it after the pit stop cycle is over, but I would think 5,300 or 400 is the final reading.
And that for a strength of field means that basically there is nobody. How much is the cutoff here? I think the cutoff is something like above 5,000 just to get in the top split.
Yeah, the guys registering for the top split, I think 5,500 is needed to get the top splits. On the screen right now, by the way, is the top two guys, Tommy Nilsson in the Inex Racing blue car behind Jesus Cecilia in the, I don't want to pronounce that team name car. You make that up. Dar Contigo is that what I would say, but it can be way different. I don't know what that means. I'm not sure if I want to know what that means, but that's how it is. Other close fights than the P2. Currently we have John Hall fighting Tomoki Konno for P8. I'm not sure if he's actually fighting or if he's saving fuel, but they're lapping identically for the last 10 laps, I would say. Behind them, what is happening here? That's happening that the Iberica Racing team, Julian Rodriguez Moreno, is in the pits. That's what was happening.
That's what I was about to point out as well. Iberica Racing English team, Iberica Racing Penguins team. Alright, wait, well me.
But now we're on board. Enzo Bonito, by the way. Sorry about
Enzo is still doing 19th, absolutely insane. And actually, Tommy Nilsson for Inex Racing Blue has caught up to Jesus Cecilia for Contigo, so...
Enzo in the pits.
Exactly at the hour mark, pretty much.
Yeah, and I find this really interesting team redline. Will Enzo go for another stint, or will they perhaps get someone else in? And how is that someone else's pace?
I'm 100% sure that Enzo is gonna drive 2 stints. It's just a matter of he's gonna drive the last one or this one. Let's see if Kimmo pits. Kimmo pits in as well. Kimmo in the pits.
And doesn't look like Redline is changing drivers, so it's gonna be Enzo Bonito for understint.
And I think Enzo should not take tires here. I mean, see, he seems to have no problem with low grippers. I'm just kidding, obviously, if you take tires, but...
And I don't think...
Did you say Kimmo pits?
Yep.
Yeah,
we said Kimmo is in the pits. Oh, and they actually do a driver swap.
Yeah, Jari is here to the next stint.
Jump in for Kimmo.
They originally planned Jari to do the remaining 2 stints, but it depends on whether Jari's headache will reduce. If it doesn't reduce, then Kimmo is gonna join for the last stint. Jari apparently has a bad headache right now, and no, he has no hangover, but he just has a headache.
That's great, excellent. So we need
Pitting in this car is actually pain, only because of the fact that first you have to
a real
change the
headache,
tires, and then it starts fueling. You can't do both at the same time. So at the last stop, you actually could save a lot of time by only taking fuel, but then you risk of losing the grip in the tires. And in the process, by the way, in the pit cycles, Jesus Cecilia is currently going into the pits, but Tommy Nilsson is not. So Tommy Nilsson saved enough fuel while being behind Jesus Cecilia for the good part of that stint. And now let's have a look at one extra lap. Is he able to capitalize and pass Cecilia with the pit stop cycle? Usually the first out lap has a fresh tire zone, so it's not that beneficial to stay out. It depends on the traffic as well, naturally, but let's see.
And also completing their pit stop cycle and doing their first pit stop is Fraser Granda Simsport number 88 one. So not the 18, but the third Stockholm second team, I believe it is. And David Williams looks like he's going to stay in the car and they're not doing a driver swap, which I find actually quite interesting. Because they have Honda Simsport 88 car has currently registered for the session is David Williams, Martin Kroenke, Philip Stam and Jonathan Buddle.
And Nelson in the pits.
So I would have thought one of Kroenke or Stam would have gotten in that car.
So the gap between Enzo and Tommy before the pit stops was about 34 minute and 2 seconds, minute and 4 seconds before driving into the pits. But you have to remember the pitting takes about 55 seconds, 54, 52, anything between that, and driving through the pits takes a good 20 seconds. So it's a minute and 10-second pit stop. So Enzo should come out like about 4 or 5 seconds in front.
And Teemu Iivonen
is gonna have joined the wheel.
Nice.
So he gets some practice in turning right.
So Enzo is closing up. Where is Enzo? Enzo is coming right here, approaching the last chicane. Tom Valentini currently also in the pits.
You should watch Jesus, because there's no way Inex is gonna get in front of Redline. You should watch Jesus for Dark Contigo if he's gonna pass him in the pits. Because that could be a possibility.
Yeah, Enzo is flashing right now past the start-finish line, and Teemu is still sitting in the box, so let's focus on Jesus.
Yeah, I'll watch.
Jesus approaching low.
Oh! Pure Racing Team
I'll watch
112 in the wall. Maisel Ribe Romero has just crashed into the wall at
just wait a
turn
moment,
5.
and Iivonen is off. Iivonen is off. There goes Jesus, so Iivonen is gonna be... He lost slightly in the pits, but not too much.
2 seconds, 1.5 seconds slower pit stop.
Yeah, that's pretty much...
Teemu Iivonen. Yeah, that's pretty much sums it up. But I'll join Jari with spotter booth right now, so you guys continue.
What, you have boots for spotters these days? Man. We had to stand in the rain. I guess that's the number 3 team versus number 2 team. Laser Racing 1 and 2 have nice comfy boots for spotters, number 3 and 4 team. Number 3 team, we have to stand in the rain, in the mud, in the forest, with umbrellas, in thunderstorms, and I don't even want to know what the 4 team has to go through. Anyway, Maisel River Romero, I hope I pronounced that even close to correctly, is now coming into the pits. He just crashed into the wall on the previous lap from 10th position, so that's really a disaster for the Pure Racing Team 112 car. And that was the car also which had Florian Voidet driving until Michael jumped behind the wheel, and he managed to crash actually on his out lap. He just came to the Florian Voidet came into the pit lane, and then Maisel Ribe Romero went in there after driver swap and crashed in turn number 5, so doesn't go too well for him. And he's gonna be feeling really bad right now. And interestingly, despite the name, Michael Ribe Romero is actually from Club Diaz, so they're both of their drivers are from the Deutschland Austria Switzerland club.
Yeah, I was browsing the forums. Apologies for that.
No worries. Riku, as we know, is a real valued contributor to the iRacing forums, and he really delivers his insight well to the forums in his well-written long posts.
I give useful and valid opinions that everyone loves in the forums. After pit stop cycle is over, we have Redline, surprise surprise, at the front with second lead. Inex Racing Blue about 1.7 seconds behind Dark Contigo. Inex Racing Yellow in 4th. They're about 2 seconds behind Inex Racing Blue. And Kimmo is about 5 seconds behind that. That's the top 5. Oh no, so not Kimmo, sorry, Jari for Glacier Racing BES number 2 team.
Yeah, and Jari is doing so far quite good job, despite his headache. And having a bit of a headache myself right now, probably because of Riko's voice. Having a bit of a headache myself right now, I can only imagine what it must be driving with it. Because, you know, wearing headphones and driving, as most of you viewers will know, driving, of which there are 60 viewers, so thanks for that. 15 now. Well, having headphones on and driving while having a headache is really not a nice experience. It's not pleasant. So, hats off to Jari for keeping it up despite his headache. and his previous lap was 119.890, and he has now completed, let's take a look, 4 laps since pit stop, and he just went under 120s for the first time, so Jari's pace looks comparably good, comparing it to Kimmo Suominen, who was driving around 119.6s on his best lap, 119.5s. His best lap was a 119.541, but that had a bit of draft in it, so Kimmo was also doing high 19s, low 20s throughout the stint, and Jari looks to be matching that pace right now. But it's still early, and we must remember that the track is improving all the time. There's gonna be marbles off the line, and there's gonna be the rubber in line, which is gonna affect things a lot. And Riku, just to give the viewers a driver's insight, for perhaps those of viewers who are not participating in this series, who have not perhaps even driven iRacing previously, what is it like now that the track has rubber? How is the difference between the rubber inline after 2 hours of racing, or after 1 hour and 30 minutes of racing as it is right now, versus the so-called green track?
I have the graphics disabled, so I don't actually see the track, and honestly, I can't really even tell the difference. I don't know. I just hit the same marks and drive the same. Maybe the lap time might slightly differ, but it's not like it's night and day.
Yeah, and that's the really important thing to remember. When the dynamic track surface was introduced first, people were happy but also fearing that the marbles off line is going to reduce overtaking, because now that sometimes when you drive off the line it's going to be like driving on ice. Well, that is not the case. The rubbered in line is of course better, but it's the rubbered in line for a good reason, because especially in top split, people are going to be driving on the same line throughout the race, because that's the optimal racing line. So if you're just driving normally, driving on the line, it's not going to be a real problem. Myself, I've noticed that the uphill after turn number 1, where Jari Lohtari is right now, to turn 2, it has so many lines, because some people take the exit of turn number 1 wide, whereas some people try to keep it in tighter and go get a better line into turn number 2, because there's the kink.
And for me, the line even depends lap by lap on how turn 1 goes. Sometimes I go really wide in turn 1 because I just had no grip and I powered out too early or something, and then I'm gonna have a really tight line in turn 2. And sometimes I get a really good exit and I can go really far to the right to get a good line in turn 2. It really depends on how the turn 1 just goes.
Yeah, and it's also the reason, along with the fact that it's not really no longer a corner at that point, but the line through turn 1 seems really static, the rubbered in line, through about the apex of the corner, whereas in exit it's noticeably lighter than it would be in most corners. And that is because drivers take a lot of different lines there, so it doesn't really have that one optimal line where the rubber is gonna be in, but it has 2 or even 3 line options that drivers are taking, and it depends lap by lap, just as Riku said, so that's an exception to the rule, but in general the dynamic track surface seems to be working well. Meanwhile, as the race is progressing, we are now 1 hour and 15 minutes into this 3-hour event. Pretty much all of the drivers are in their second stint. So, and we have Joni Hagner actually in the Glacier Racing number 1 car, overtaking into turn number 1 like only Joni Hagner can, Sebastian Schmitz in the Core Motorsport red car. Sebastian Schmitz is currently in P11 now that, and Joni Hagner is now taking P10, so Glacier Racing number 1 car makes its way into top 10, which is interesting result for him. And Joni Hagner...
Just Hagner thinks.
Yeah, but just Hagner didn't really do a mistake, just got a good run and passed in turn number 1 cleanly. But Joni Hagner is an interesting driver, because he's a really good endurance driver, who in shorter races seems like we followed his exploits for a number of years now. And Joni Hagner is someone who is really aggressive as a driver, perhaps even somewhat, how should I say it? He's a bit uncontrollable sometimes, you know. He goes in there head first, he's really like drives with his heart and his soul, but in endurance races, the man can tackle lap after lap on the same mark. He's a really good endurance driver, he's really good at saving fuel, saving his tires, And it's a really interesting combination because usually those two don't go hand in hand. Usually when someone is an aggressive driver, he is a really good hot lapper and he does well in the shorter races in different cars. Whereas someone like Hagner, someone who is like Hagner in the endurance races in a sense that Hagner is able to keep going, hitting the marks. It's a rare combination, it's an interesting combination too, and I believe we have the similar situation with another Glacier driver, Alex Eloma as well, who is also can be a bit unpredictable indeed, that's the word I was looking for, unpredictable in shorter races, but really good in longer races. So it's really interesting that someone like Hagner, who is really a good endurance driver, can be so unpredictable in shorter races and still do so well in terms of the conservative part of endurance racing, so to speak.
So now it has been quieting down a little bit at the top. The fight closest at the front, that's closest to the front, is for 6th and 7th, where Nestor Garcia Jr. is in front of Tom Valentini of Pure Racing Team 111. Pretty much doing, I think, identical lap times, 19.9 against 20.0, so he's gonna be a good pair to watch.
Yeah,
we're getting close to the section where some people are starting to, like, trying to stay passive and just, like, being more conservative, and whereas some people are actually done with the fuel conservation, etc. Now they're just really pushing. So we might actually see these pairs that for the first hour, usually when you had a pair driving like this, they didn't do that much moves compared to each other, but now we're in the stage where some people might actually start considering being aggressive.
Yeah, and there's a really good fight going on right now from P16 to P20. There's a 5-car train going on right now, and we have in that train we have currently Gianluca Bellardinelli in Vortex Sim Racing Red Machine. Oh, sliding a lot in turn number 5. And he's gonna get overtaken by Wyatt Gooden in the Radicals Online number 1 car. So the P16 just changed owners, and then we have...
Temporarily. Just watch what happens when you get to the back straight.
Yeah.
Go on board him and just, you can have a look at yourself. So on board McLaren and BMW in front of him. Here we go.
Any second now. Yep, here he goes. So Gianluca Bellardinelli instead of...
But BMW is superior on the brakes. He actually might challenge in here. He does.
Yeah, and he makes it. So Wyatt Gooden stays in P number 16 despite having the disadvantage of slower straight line speed. And now it will be really interesting what happens to that train, because Wyatt Gooden, as we know, is really fast. Also in GD cars. More so in open wheelers, but also in GD cars. And Wyatt Gooden has a real good chance of breaking away here, especially if Gianluca Bellardinelli keeps making mistakes like that and just drops off. And he can hang in the draft on straight line maybe, but he just can't follow that BMW closing the corners. And this will be interesting for a number of reasons, because if they can follow that, that BMW of...
What is happened to Irish Racing Blue?
Turn forward. No, they're 5th.
No, I think internet dropped.
Whoa, dude. Yeah, they're going down. They're going...
Yeah.
No, they're on track. It still shows on track. No, it doesn't. It crashed. Teemu's data has stalled to 106 kilometers an hour. Teemu is going down. He has a disconnection on the internet, and that's heartbreaking.
Wow.
They were in P3, a strong P3 right now, and it's gonna change. They did win the last top split, however, yesterday, so they have strong points. So
yeah,
yes, now we lost them.
Dramatic.
Yeah.
But Glacier Racing P4.
So.
And at the moment we're doing really well for number 2, because we're in like a no man's land that we have no one to really battle with. So less of a chance of...
We actually might survive here. No.
Yeah.
No, we're gonna wreck. We're gonna wreck. If I say we're gonna survive, we're gonna wreck. So we're gonna wreck.
But if you wreck, you better wreck hard.
P12 fight is now heating up. We have a BMW followed by McLaren, followed by BMW. This bump there going outside of turn 7 there for David Williams. So we have Marcel Wiemers leading the group with the Falcon GP, orange and black BMW. Then we have Sebastiano Filosa for Thrustmaster Mivano black car, and then we have, oh wow, that was a pretty ballsy move by the Mivano Racing, who goes very deep into the chicane, has actually left the door open. You have to go to BMW to go to the outside. Now they're going to the last corner too wide. Is he gonna still challenge on the inside? Don't do that, dude. He lifts off a little bit, and now this gives an opportunity for David. Well,
3 wide!
The inside, that's a block.
Yeah, we had a 3 wide momentary tear as David Williams of Racer Contest Sport.
Guess who's blocking? Guess who is blocking?
Oh
Mivano.
no, it isn't. Could it be? Could it be?
No. No.
Oh,
And contact!
That's not Mivano's fault.
It is not.
That.
No, actually, yeah. I mean, there's no space for Dave on the inside.
Yeah, and he's stationary for a
Replay.
moment, and that scream, I think, woke up my neighbors, so sorry to my neighbors, it's a walking day tomorrow actually. So, anyway, Sebastiano
Replay.
Filosa is now taking a tow to the pit lane, and he didn't handle that one well as David Williams and Sebastiano Filosa came together in turn number 2.
Yeah, having a slow motion replay of it, and from the high camera here, and if you get another chance for the once we go uphill, David had a run on him, so he was partially beside him, but now when we go up the hill, David is right next to him. Let's have a super slow motion here. David is almost completely cleared already. David loses the back end slightly. I don't think David should have gone into that hole. I mean, that was late braking into a corner where you shouldn't even try to late brake. I wouldn't blame Mivano for that one. No way.
Yeah, but in the meanwhile, David shouldn't have gone for that hole, it's true. But he also lost it. I think there was a bit of a driver error involved, and I think also what is interesting is that David was having a run on the main straight, and Mivano blocked him. So I think he was just furious.
Yeah, aggression.
Yeah, aggression, definitely. And a bit uncalled for and ends in a bad result. But also, well, I can say that while this was not Mivano's fault, I think they've been really baiting it for some time now.
Yeah, that was a dirty block there on the main straight. I mean, they drove very deep into the chicane, left the door open to the outside. Meanwhile, we were having a look at, by the way, the Falcon GP. The Marcel Wiemers and David Williams fighting it still going on with BMWs this time. Only 2 BMWs, but yeah, going back to that incident, the straight line block that he did after that 2 wide on the main straight, that was just dirty because there was space for David Williams to go in, and once David started to pull in there, he just tweaked right in front of David and just blocked that road, and that's basically, according to every rulebook and sporting code there is, that was a block.
Oh!
Wow, it's too wide, and David Williams actually pushes wide, and if a Falcon GP car hadn't lift off, that would have been an incident. David actually over-pushed the exit there.
Yeah, David is pissed off right now. He's trying really aggressive. He's running the wheels of that car and might be doing that literally very soon.
Yeah, let's have a look at a replay of that one. That was actually pretty interesting move there. Here they're going into the chicane braking, and now watch what happened in the after the braking. No, I want turn TV3 camera. I don't want TV2 camera. No, here we go. Just watch this. David starts to push wide. He pushes. There was actually a touch, and if the Falcon GP car hadn't lifted off the throttle, that would have surely been a bad incident. They both would have been into the bridge wall. I think David overshot that exit, in my opinion.
Yeah, agreed. And that's now 2 incidents within the space of 2 laps that he was involved in. And both thanks to his over-aggression, to be honest.
Yeah, but from P14 to P12. And what did we say yesterday? Out of a wreck, who's the only one to survive?
Yeah, exactly.
The guilty party.
And it's sometimes, well, that's called karma when they get their ass back later.
For P16. For P15, I think. Oh, late braking from Vortex Sim Racing.
Yeah, and this is now allowed the guy who I was talking earlier, White Gooden, to break away from that pack. So we have right now...
He's pulled up a massive...
Yeah, we have...
He's lapping second a lap faster than Marcel Wiemers in front of him. He's actually lapping second faster than Sebastian Schmidt in P11 right now.
Yeah, and we have that. Meanwhile, in
yeah.
the P15 fight, we have Diego Rancagno Budon, and then we have Gianluca Berardinelli, and then we have Daniel Arndt Wrestling, who is right now on P17. So he's driving for Red Revolution Racing number 2, and then we have Vortex Sim Racing Red and Odox Motorsport, who is involved in the fight for P15. What are you laughing about?
Wrestling! Did you just say Daniel Arndt Wrestling?
Did I say that?
I mean, it was a valiant attempt.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, I didn't really have anything to say. I was wondering why is Johnny corpsing in the background. Well, not really corpsing, just losing his cool. And yeah, so anyway, we're not right now. That back seems to be a little bit slower in terms of that. Back seems to be opening up in terms of now that Diego Bancagno Bodon has got in that P15. He has now pulled up a bit of a gap to Gianluca Bellardinelli and Daniel Arndt Bensing in P17, so it will be interesting to see how that shows up and what Daniel is able to do in that Red Revolution Racing number 2 machine. Will they be able to follow, or will that fight for P15 finally loosen up, and how will Diego Bancagno Budon's pace? He did a 119.8 actually on the last lap, and in front of him we have Wyatt Gooden, and he's actually catching Wyatt Gooden in that previous lap, because Wyatt Gooden did a 120.0, and we'll be able to see if that's Wyatt's pace, or if Wyatt had just had a bad lap.
Yeah, but at the meantime, after the updated lap, Marcel Wiemers with the Falcon GP BMW is pulling 120.6, so Wyatt Gooden caught him a 0.6 a lap, and Budon caught Gooden a 0.2 a lap. By the way, Riku, how many viewers we have right now? Are we talking to a
50.
blind wall?
58.
Whoa, dude! That's my personal record. Hello.
61.
58.
Just updated. 61.
Hello to all the 61 viewers. Welcome to the Top Split unofficial broadcast by Glacier TV, Blanche Pond Endurance Series.
Race 3 out of 3. Because I'm one of them.
Yeah, race 3 out of 3 of the week, and the first week out of 6 weeks. This series is a qualifier for the 2016 Blanche Pond Endurance World Championship Series. Top 40 teams will advance to the World Championship license, and currently we are watching the last race of the week at Road Atlanta, 3-hour race, being led by Team Redline Black, driven by Enzo Bonito, currently blasting insane lap times at the top. Dark Contigo Racing Team in P2, Inex Racing Yellow P3, Glacier Racing 2 car in P4, Pure Racing Team in P5, Iberica Racing P6, IRJA Flat 6 Racing in P7, Phoenix Motorsports Rough in P8, Glacier Racing 1 car in P9, and filling the top 10, Iberica Racing Zalen Team. And currently approaching the in 4 minutes we reach the halfway point of the race. Closest fight we have right now is Nestor Garcia in P4, still duking out, P6, sorry, duking out with Tom Valentini for P5. On the screen right now, they're lapping, Iberica Racing Team has been lapping more rapid pace than the Pure Racing Team, but remains to be seen if they actually want to stick behind them or go for immediate pass. Yeah, the Glacier Racing 2 car had the misfortune yesterday of getting punted by the Inex Blue car, but then we had the first race where Riku had a slight, we're actually still not sure what exactly went on there, the slightest mistake which sent the car sideways out of turn 5 and wrecked us out of the race in the first race, so this is the do or die race for us, currently in P5, so that's a promising position. Yeah, P4, sorry, because now they we lost what?
Inex Blue.
Yeah, Ivan had Inex Racing Blue had a disconnection, but like I said, Dave Geeling is now driving for the Inex Racing Blue car, by the way, no. Currently 1 lap down in P19. But yeah,
it doesn't really matter for Inex Blue. I mean, they wouldn't have caught Redline, and they won yesterday, so.
Yeah, they're 2 points behind Coanda Sim Sports before this race in P2 in the standings, so they are very comfortable in terms of the championship.
As I said earlier, I'm happy that we are in a dead man's land, so to say.
Yeah, that's what I said to Jari, just focus on hot lapping and just ignore everyone else.
5 seconds to the front and almost 10 to the back, so... And Jari is getting away from Pure Racing Team anyway, and even almost catching Inex, I mean, flapping equal pace, so...
Joni Hackner is having the racing day of his life. First he had a FSRC race, a Finnish Sim Racing Championship race, where he qualified P4, then did the qualifier race. He had a grid penalty, started last in P21. In 15-minute race he climbed up to P8. Then he got to the finals in row 8, which meant P15. He fought that race himself in 45 minutes up to P7. And that was like a racing after racing, and now he's racing for P9 with the Iberica Racing Salem team, and I wonder if Salem is actually going for a pass here. They actually are going for a pass.
And they will get it.
Yeah, superior braking ability with the BMW, and now if he's able to maintain it on the main straight, they will escape from the top of the hill.
But Hackner is turn 1. I'm calling it. I'm calling it. Oh, he's having trouble. I
sure hope somebody picks up that phone. He's going for it! Oh god, you gotta be kidding me, dude. He's going for it!
Oh shit, dude. Oh, dude. Nice.
Well done there for both
Hagner
teams.
doing... Oh, and they touch!
Oh, there's a slight tap there.
Hagner doing just Hagner things, and I apologize for the... high pitch there. This is always
dude, it's part of a broadcast. It wouldn't be exciting. Try this broadcast for a change. Now Hackner is really fighting for P9 there. That's an outstanding and superiorly exciting race we have here. 1 minute 30 seconds, 1 hour 30 minutes and 50 seconds.
And
we have a huge
late dive
in.
to turn 7.
Yeah, huge dive in there by the BMW. That was almost a heartbreaking, breathtaking maneuver there. And if I keep talking like this for an hour and 30 minutes, we will lose every spectator we have. Just imagine me spectating like that for an hour and 30 minutes. That would suck.
And Hagner clears it easily.
He's going for a late braking again. Wow, he is going for a pass. These guys are really duking it out each other. I'm not sure if Phoenix Motorsports actually has a decent result from this week already, but Hagner already has one, and he's not. He's completely ignoring the fact that Phoenix Motorsports might actually need the points. Yeah, he's just feeling it. I sure hope. Yeah, defensive mode this time.
Go for the crossover. Come on, Hagner, you can do it.
No. But this is the best fight we have on the track at the moment. Just passed the midway point, by the way, 6 seconds ago. So 3-hour race, half done. And Rick will take over. I'll visit with Jari shortly.
Oh, I wasn't listening. Apparently, Backman left me hanging.
I'm finally back. I managed to log myself out of the broadcast channel, so to speak. So I was out there for 10 minutes.
And Classic Racing Best 2 has suffered a slowdown penalty. Unfortunately.
Well,
and they have cleared it.
Could be worse.
I guess so. I mean, if we come home in fourth, we're more than happy. And I don't know about you, but the server's going crazy for me. Like I'm seeing cars flying almost.
It's fine for me right now.
Yeah, that was only for 1 second, so.
But I had a lag spike just now too. I'm having bit of lag spikes. You know, it's going from green, it's going to yellow, and halfway across yellow. So I really hope the servers are not dying on us. Come on, hang in there, iRacing servers, you can do it, all 2 of you. Oops, 3 I mean. I'm just imagining the iRacing servers, what we've seen in Indy 500 and what we've seen in various other races. I'm just imagining the iRacing servers, you know, there is one server in Netherlands, there is one in US, and there is one in Australia. Now, I'm imagining the servers being old IBM 386s. From the time before Rick was even born, old server, just instead of having this professional server rack, it's just one computer, and with Ethernet cable connected to it that is really glowing red hot. It's a good service. I mean, it's really a good service, but maybe the server side should be a bit more stable, so to speak. So back to the race. We have Lohtari is still in P4. William Levac is now in P3, fighting for, well, not really fighting in the Tanix Racing yellow car, just trying to bring it home really safe and sound. Jesus Sicilia, for somehow, is still on track. No offense, Jesus. Really fast driver.
But so is Enzo.
Yeah, so is Enzo.
So they haven't done a driver change yet.
Yeah, and it's gonna be interesting. I think, is it Huttu who's driving with Enzo today?
Yep, I have confirmed that Hood racing next.
And this is the only time when I'm be able to say this, really. But I'm wondering how will Huttu's pace compare to Enzo's pace, because the only type of combination where we can legitimately say that in a team Gregor Huttu is the slower driver is when he's driving GD cars with Enzo Bonito. That's the only time, and it's really interesting.
Pretty much. I really don't think nobody can go faster than Enzo in a GD3 car, so at least that's what I would think. So we'll have to see.
Meanwhile, from P22, the SRE endurance car of Maximilian Weidmeier, the roof of the SRE endurance, met the wall in turn number 5. They got loose from the bump and then went to the outside wall instead of the inside wall and spun around, and their car is really damaged, and I think their day is over. Yep, they're in the pit lane.
Oh, and Team SRE?
Yeah, Team SRE.
Okay, yeah.
So I guess we didn't really gain any SR from today.
Yeah, probably not.
Meanwhile, on the fight for P number 9, Marines Kolak has now gotten a bit of a gap in the tiebreaker racing Salem car from Joni Hagner, but Hagner is still furiously trying to stay behind him. And I mean furiously because those guys, as Rico and Joni explained to you, and as you saw in the pictures, they were really fighting hard. And we are apparently still following on the broadcast the fight between the Ibereka Racing Salim car of Marines Kolak, and I'm really hoping that
John Holt's Phoenix Motorsport Rough is going past Ibereka Racing Ben Q of Nestor Garcia. 4th position for 7th position, I believe. Indeed, yes. Apologies, Joni is not here with us, so he can't hear what we're talking about, so he won't be able to show the camera, but that's what happens. Phoenix Motorsports Rough goes into P7, and Ibereka Racing Ben Q drops down to P8. And they are 45 seconds behind the leader.
Yeah, and it's actually a really nice little battle going on there, because you got Tom
Valentino. It's a nice train from 8th to 5th.
Yeah, from 5th to 8th even. But, or from 8th to 5th, depending of course on your point of view. We got Tom Valentini of Pure Racing Team car, then we got Tomoki Konno from Iria Flat 6 Racing, and then we got John Hall of Phoenix Motorsport, and then we also have in the train Nestor Garcia Jr. From Ibereka Racing Team. So they're fighting it out, and it's really interesting how the dynamic of that is going to play out, because they got McLaren in the lead of the train, then you got 2 roofs, and then you finally got a BMW. So only thing really missing from that is a Ford GD, and I believe we have grand total of 1 Ford GD in the top grid now.
But I dozed off again, sorry.
No worries, no worries. 1 Ford GD in top split, right?
At least one. It's Inex Racing Red is one at least, so I don't know if there's anyone else, but give you some info on how Glacier Racing cars are doing. Our number 2, which only has 150 points under our belt for this week. We are in 4th position, doing nicely. 5 seconds behind Inex Racing Yellow in 3rd, and almost 10 seconds clear of Pure Racing Team 111 in 5th.
Yeah,
and then for our number 1 team, apologies for that, number 1 team is in 10th, actually being followed by Racer Kwanda Simsport of Williams really closely into turn 3. This is gonna be an interesting battle.
Yeah, we've seen David Williams. Yeah, we've seen David Williams being aggressive earlier in his stint already. There was this incident with the Mivano red car, I believe, and then or Mivano black, I don't know which one. And then we had also that incident in the chicane between Tomoki Konno and him, or radically Kashuba and him.
BES is going for a move. I mean, Konno is going for a move.
Yeah, and he dive bombs late to the inside of Hagner, but actually keeps it clean and to the apex and overtakes Johnny Hagner on
It's
the...
because of BMW's superior braking
P5,
power, so...
P5. Conno
Yeah.
is making it!
And indeed, but let's look it now back into Glacier and Coanda for it. Hagner and Williams.
Yeah, and Hagner's going to the outside and flies past David Williams. Oh, and then
man.
that's on the braking, and how did Johnny say that?
That was on Hagner. Hagner just pulled to the right at the braking, so that was Hagner's fault. That was bad move by Hagner.
Wow. And he drops back, and he is really lucky not to be on the wall right now.
And like In Flames would say, oh, when least expected, Gregor Huttu connected. We're 20 minutes.
What you say?
22 minutes before the third round of pit stops, and Gregor Huttu has now joined the server, so he will take over for Enzo Bonito for the last stint. But after what Enzo Bonito has done so far, Gregor is gonna have a pretty easy run on his hands.
Yeah, certainly. We touched on that bit with Rico earlier, that it's really interesting how Gregor Huttu, when he's driving with Enzo Bonito, it's the only time when we can say that Gregor Huttu is actually slower than someone in his team.
Yeah.
Or slower than anyone, for that matter.
Let's see what Tom Valentini in the Pure Racing team is able to pull off after Tomoki Konno now passed him. Good battle for P5, 6, and 7. Actually 5, 6, 7, and 8 is Nestor Garcia also approaching this trio. By the way, if I'm off the channel and you guys want me to track someone, just say it in the back chat or just give me a PM in the TeamSpeak. Because otherwise I'm focusing on different stuff. Hey, keep red line. IDEX Racing, beg your pardon, IDEX Racing is going for a pass. Dave Keeling is taking a position from Daniel
Dude, make up your mind. Keeling passed, who passed? Oh, Keeling, okay. Oh, he managed to brake on time, I'm surprised.
Is that
Enzo is really wide.
is that a
His
spam
tires
bot
are-
in the chat or not?
Yeah, it is. D5OG2 guy, I guess. Oh yeah, it is. Locust, yeah, it's a
Yeah.
yeah, 100%.
Banhammer! Banhammer!
We need a soundboard. We so need a soundboard for different things. Like Riku saying Chiquita when someone gets banned. Riku, say Chiquita.
Nikita.
Yes, that.
That wasn't much enthusiasm, I'm sorry, but it's the best I can do.
Oh no, there was plenty of enthusiasm in that. There was also Kimi Räikkönen levels of enthusiasm.
Yeah, of course we could broadcast this race the last 1 hour and 19 minutes like Kimi Räikkönen, so it would sound pretty much like this, and we would know what is happening, but Phoenix Motorsports in the P7 is currently doing a pretty good job, and I need my ice cream after I'm gonna take a shit, and I will miss the finishing of this race, but yeah, we'll see what happens.
I think it's really interesting that we have
Wow,
this
Enzo's tires are really
race
down.
going
He's
on.
spinning, he's like sliding
Don't
into...
interrupt me, Riku,
the
when I'm
chicane.
doing my Kimi impression. It's, I think it's really interesting in this race that we have plenty of teams going on, and I think we've seen plenty of good dive pumping like I did to Valtteri today, and I think the racing has been really good and clean, and I just hope I got a bit oversteer in the front end.
No,
Yeah.
that's not Häkkinen, that's actually Räikkönen.
No, I think he was referring to yours. Sound bit like the child of Mika Häkkinen and Kimi Räikkönen, whatever that would be. Gregor Huttu, probably.
It's actually funny to look at Enzo blasting the lap times, because he's still like hour and 42 minutes into the race, and he's still pulling like it was a qualifying. Just look
Yeah.
at just look at the wheel motion. He's counter steering every goddamn corner. Just look at this. It's just like he's in qualifying, and he's not even. It's not even struggling. He's driving like that every time he's behind the wheel.
The dude is insane. I
And
mean,
19.5.
No guess, no power steering.
I once again I will say this. What are those poor tires going through? What are the things, the atrocities those poor tires?
He has some freaking helium thrusters.
He's so rich he drives on the wheels.
Just look at the turn 5. And counter steer. And my pizza is up. Take over, guys.
Professional streaming right here, making pizza in the stream.
Yeah, I made rye bread earlier for myself, and I was just being right back, and then I made coffee, and the coffee was really strong, so I couldn't drink the coffee, and I also feel like crap after yesterday. So, but yeah, we are following Enzo Bonito right now. Still, we're focusing on his handwork. The motions he's going through every single lap, and he has been driving for, as Joni said, 1 hour and 48 minutes now. We're over halfway through this race, and there hasn't been a moment when Enzo Bonito hasn't been absolutely wrestling that car. There hasn't been a single moment when that car hasn't been oversteering, jittering all over the place, and somehow Enzo managed to keep it on track consistently. And I don't know if it's just his natural driving style, but also it explains the difference between Team Redline and Red Evolution Racing. Because Red Evolution Racing's driver Daniel aren't wrestling the car, and Enzo Bonito is, so naturally he's faster. I have to apologize for that. That was an incredibly shitty pun, and I think I just killed Ricky.
Let's give the updated laps what they're doing at the front. Enzo is 0.665. Darkon Deco Racing Team in the second did 0.907. Racing Yellow in third 0.105. That's 20.105. Loftari in for Glacier Racing did 0.045. IRJA Flat 6 Racing in position 5 did 0.323. Phoenix Motorsport behind 0.156. Pretty tight, except Enzo. It's gonna be really interesting to see what Greg can do behind the wheel.
Yeah, I think that's more appropriate in more ways than one, because Enzo is not tight, he's really, really loose. But he's constantly loose and loses fast. At least according to Alex Usiakko. But who is Enzo Bonito's teammate in at least in the World Championship Series, or Championship Grand Prix Series, sorry. Now, in the battle for key number 5, as Rico just said, it's it's now Tomoki Konno and John Hall battling with two roofs in P5 and 6, and John Hall is making a really good race for himself as well as the Phoenix Motorsport team. He has been consistently driving good lap times and is right now challenging for top 5 in this race, which would be a really good result for Phoenix Motorsport. Meanwhile, Tom Valentini has dropped a bit back from that group. He's now in P7 that we're racing McLaren, and behind them Nestor Garcia Jr. is trying to follow them, but it seems that we have a bit of separation going on. In fact, the two roosters are just, instead of battling each other, they're just driving with each other and trying to pull away from the rest of the field. So trying to save time and perhaps even allowing them opportunity to catch up a little on that Glacier Racing number 2 of Jari Lottari, who, by the way, whose lap times are a bit dropping a little. It's did a 121.2 in the last lap.
He did 21.2 because of a mistake in turn 5, but otherwise he's been doing
okay.
20.0, so 19.9, so he still has to, but unfortunately he just made a mistake last lap.
And it's really quite unusual to see Jari Lottari making a mistake. I don't remember him making too many mistakes this season or ever when he's driving in an endurance race. But happens to everyone, I guess. And the biggest risers and fallers, well, in qualifying results, of course Team Redline and the leading duo of Team Redline Black and Dark Indigo Racing Team 1 and 2, they started 1 and 2 and they are still there. But Inex Racing Yellow started P7, is now 3rd, Glacier Racing 2 started P3, is now 4th, and then Ilya Flat 6 Racing started in P16, is now in P5, and Phoenix Motorsport Group started in P15, is now in P6. So Tomoki Konno and John Hall are really driving the wheels out of this car. They've been doing some really great progress. And also shout out to ForagerCon Simsport 88 with David Williams behind the wheel. Despite some erratic maneuvers we've seen from him, he has managed to rise from P24 to P10 right now. So he's making a really good race for himself. And Inex Racing Blue is still actually on track despite Teemu's misconnection. They lost connection, they lost a lap as a result, but they are still driving and they are actually in P14 right now. So this really seems like the type of race as endurance racing usually is, but even more so this particular race, where just staying on track, keeping it on the dark stuff is gonna earn you a really good result. I mean a really good result. We've seen so many cars off the track, so many accidents. I mean, there's top 12 is right now within the same lap. Then we have about 10 cars which are lapped, and from P24 onwards, all the way to P39, they're retired. So we lost almost half of the field already in this race, and we're not even 2 hours in.
It was a pretty exciting first couple of laps. There was a bit of mayhem here and there. I'm so glad I managed to qualify third, so we all have to be involved in all that, because some of the mayhem was like all the way like from like P7 or something, so...
It's 2 places worse than you usually do in World Atlanta, right, Nico?
Yeah. But back then...
I see what you're trying to do there.
I didn't have to qualify against Enzo back then.
Yeah, only against Huttu.
Yep, Huttu is a nobody.
That is going to be... Someone should make a thread on iRacing forums. I urge you to do it. In general off-topic section. Put the topic up and say that quote, Huttu is a nobody, unquote, and then Riku Alatalo. Or in a signature somewhere. So
yeah,
professional sim racing analyst Riku Alatalo again point on with his opinions.
Put it on pretend race car stock.
Yeah.
Phoenix Motorsports is still fighting for P5, by the way.
As Rutger kept said on the stream, it's obviously going to have a bit more carnage in race 3 because some will have nothing to lose. An interesting fact, Yari just managed... Oh, there's a yellow flag in...
Yeah,
oh,
turn 5 you have a spinning car there.
Yeah, so, but, fun fact, Yari just took off track in turn 3 and it is our 4th incident in the whole race, so clean driving from the duo of Kimmo and Yari.
No, it's not. Now when some 1500 iRating guy, or lower than that, is gonna go to the forum profile and see that Yari's average ink per race is 4, now he's gonna think that he's a wrecker.
It's not clean driving if it isn't, if Daniel aren't resting, or how do you say it? I mean, come on, that guy has. I'm really sorry, Daniel, if you're watching this or if your teammates are watching this, but your name has the greatest commentary potential ever.
That is debatable.
Yeah.
Seems like Lohtari is struggling a bit at the moment, 0.444 for him. Meanwhile, William Levesque in front of him did a 20.0.
Yeah, but Lohtari...
in second, 20.6, but he's had some lap traffic in front of him.
According to
Meanwhile,
Lohtari,
Enzo,
the headache is not a problem anymore, so he will do the last 10.
Meanwhile, Enzo is doing a 19.8, so yeah. He has a 25-second lead in 83 laps.
Yeah, and he's still pushing like it's qualifying.
And Enzo is about to lap Joni Hagner.
I will eat with food in my mouth if I want to. This is my stream. If you don't like it, turn it off.
Joni, did you just say that you will eat with food in your mouth if you want to?
Yeah, I will eat and speak with food in my mouth. I will
beep
with food in my mouth.
Drink. Will you drink with food in your mouth?
He will drink.
Well, this and interesting is going on. Joni Hagner in 11th is driving in front of Sylvain Pomerade in P29, and the Radicals Online Beamer is actually faster than Joni Hagner's McLaren at the moment.
Yeah, and Enzo Bonito is about to lap that duo, and Enzo just had a massive slide exiting T5.
how is that Radical's car able to be faster than a Squirrel if you look at how much damage it has?
Just, I don't know, just take a moment and look at Enzo's turn 5.
It doesn't have any straight plates on it.
Take a moment and look at Enzo's turn 5. It's just sick.
Yeah, and he's just not. He's doesn't even care about it. He just does that like lap after lap.
I will buy Hagner a beer if he wrecks Enzo.
You just said that on public broadcast, you know? So, Glacier Racing...
This will be worse conspiracy than a 9/11.
Yeah, if it actually happens...
In before forum, man.
Yeah, I was just thinking... I'm not hoping anything, but if it actually happens, get your popcorn maybe. And drink, yeah.
I have to say, this pizza is really good though.
Thanks for that, mate.
No problem, mate.
Is it pepperoni?
Yeah.
Of course, the best kind.
Yeah,
Enzo
Enzo
looked
looks
damaged.
because
at the
he's
curving.
likely driving on rims.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
and his front of the car is like looks a bit damaged, but I guess it's from curbs or something. He hasn't hit anything as far as we know.
Visual damage.
And he's right now about to overtake Johnny Hagner, and I hope Hagner gives him room. I think Hagner will give him.
Turn right!
Dive in there, come on!
Dive
No! What are you doing, Hake?
What a pussy.
And by that, he means pretty young cat.
Yep, indeed.
Well, you can say that too.
Family show.
Yeah.
Family service.
And John Hall has gotten past Tomoki Kono 2 laps ago. We missed that, apologies. I'll try to take a look, and I'm pretty sure he was into the chicken. Yes, it is, he was into the chicken. And Kono pretty much gave the position.
Was it the slow chicken or the fast chicken?
It was the medium chicken.
Okay.
It was a fried kind with a
Drink.
nice skin around it.
So I guess with this temperature it's now fried chicken.
And it is 5 minutes or about 4 to 5 laps until the next round of pit stops. And I'm tired as ballsack.
What?
I'm tired as a ballsack. I don't know how ballsacks are tired.
How
but
tired is a ball sack?
Depends on how much you use it. Depends on how beat it is.
Okay, thanks for that. Yeah. Not quite sure what to say to that, to be honest.
Let's just say, Ufa porno!
We are 2 hours in, right now, 2 hours into this broadcast, and we're going mental. We should do a 24-hour race broadcast sometime.
Correction, you are saying the stupid shit, not us.
You just called Greg and Hutto a nobody.
Yeah, and I just said, Ufa porno!
And eating pizza.
Yeah.
And another spam bot in the chat.
Woohoo!
Give the banhammer.
You can throw it.
Oh yeah, I have admin right. Oh no, I'm on my Twitch with my other account, so no, I can't.
Let's give Backman the honor. It does him good to handle
By eating pizza, that's my honor. Oh fuck. Here we go, you happy?
Yes. And Sylvan Pomerad, I'm trying that name. Sylvan Pomerad is driving behind Johnny Hagner right now, and he's in position 28. Hagner is in 11th, as we mentioned earlier. Now, Pomerad looks like he is really faster than Hagner. I don't know how, as we said, but he is really faster, but he can't pass him. He can't really fight him. There's no point fighting him because he's laps behind, obviously. But he looks like he's really catching up Hagner in the corners, and this latter part of Hagner's stint, now that Hagner is completing the last laps in his stint before likely coming in the pits, hasn't been that good. He opened the stint up really well, taking the car from Antti Pihlaja, but after that he's been struggling a little, I must say, with his tires, and with his driving as well, and he's not posting in lap times we've usually seen from Hagner, and that's why he's lost a couple of positions in the latter part of the stint.
Looking behind at P14, the Falcon GP car Marcel Wiemers, who earlier on was fighting with David Williams for P12, I think, is now down to P14. Is down to get Dave Geeling right now. So Dave, was it Dave Helling or something like that? Dave is up to P13 right now and being a lap down from that demo, even a disconnection earlier. He's catching Wyatt Gooden on the same lap by, well, you can have a look at yourself, 0.8 of a second for last lap. So 1.7 seconds within a few laps, this might get interesting.
Yeah, and Wyatt is also catching up to Hagner right now as Pomerad nicely moves out of the way. So Wyatt is right now really only a second or two behind Hagner. We can actually see the gap when we go over the line. Oh, so yeah, the gap is about 1 second, a bit more than that, 1.5 seconds between Wyatt Good and Johnny Hagner. And also, we have that car behind, Dave Gelling, now catching up to Wyatt Gooden. So yeah, as Johnny said, this will be a really interesting 3-by battle for P11. And there's really some good points in there to be able to get, because as the sprint of field is really high, it's over 5,000 as we mentioned. There's be like still 200 plus points for finishing in P10. Might be even more than that, 220 plus points for finishing in P10. So yeah, these points are important for each team because it's going to be really tight in the top 40. Oh, as you can see on the, I just saw when I watched the stream that Dave Gelling had a bit of an issue exiting turn number 5 and almost missed the wall. Almost. But managed to hold it quite nicely, and that will hold him back a couple of more laps in his mission to catch Wyatt Wood and Johnny Hagner. So yeah, right now as we're focusing on the P11 fight, just the previous laps, it's interesting. Hagner was able to drive 120.9, which is decent, but it's about the second of the best pace on track right now of the leaders. Wyatt Gooden drove 120.4, well 120.5 really, and Sylvain Pomerad behind them, in that car that is a complete wreck, still drove 120.5. I have no idea how the BMW is able to go that fast, but he's really following the pace of guys who are fighting for 10th, 11th place quite easily. It's really surprising. As we can see here...
I've been watching some YouTube videos of this.
Okay. That's...
Oh, and Lohtari pits. I don't know if you mentioned that.
No, I didn't. Lohtari is in the pit lane, and he is, as we've heard, he's gonna drive the third stint as well. So Lohtari is gonna double stint right now. Meanwhile, Wyatt Gooden is gonna overtake. Yes, he's went to the inside of Johnny Hagner and
ends up really sideways in the lane. Holy cow!
And Johnny Hagner is also pitting in. So Hagner is pitting in from P12. And yeah, Enzo is really sideways in the pit lane. He's coming into pit lane trying to find his pit box.
Gregor racing. And Jesus Sicilia continues for one more lap.
I mean, how stacked is that Team Red Line Black car? You got the fastest GD driver in all of sim racing, Enzo Bonito, and then you got the most accomplished sim racer, the fastest sim racer in the world, in Gregor Huttu. And that is not fair. That is just not fair. It's just, those guys are... wow, it's just from another planet. Aliens, damn it.
When are they actually gonna change driver? I still see Enzo in the car. No, he left.
Yeah, I was wondering too, because it would have been funny if Enzo would have just decided, you know what, no, and stayed in the car and not get any BES points, but obviously that would not be a clever thing to do. And Gregory is now getting his tires changed and will get some new rubber on, as if it matters. And so Gregor Hutto is back on track, and the fastest sim racer in the world is now behind the wheel, and those guys are now sharing the track with Greger Hutto, and it's really interesting also because this top split, you can make the top split of the endurance qualifying series by just having one higher rating guy in your team technically. So there could be someone who is well, obviously a good sim racer, but not the quality that is seen in iRacing World Championship Grand Prix Series. Yet they get to share the track with Greger Hutto, which is gonna be an honor, really. And Riku, having got the first-hand experience of actually battling for position, battling for win with Greger Hutto, how does it feel?
Yeah, that was like my 5th or something Drivers' World Championship race ever, and I was shitting my pants when he was behind me. So, it's quite a feeling to have on your back and trying to drive for position, which won't be the case here today because they are like clearly in the lead, but still, it is quite weird looking at F3 and seeing name Greger Hutto in there because outside of DWT he barely ever races.
Yeah, and it's really quite funny the way you described it in your pants, because I couldn't imagine the situation of actually looking at your relative screen and seeing the driver behind you is Greger Hutto.
In white.
Yeah, exactly. Greger Hutto in white, and you're like, oh, he's not lapping me, over racing. How do I race against Greger Hutto? How do you do it? You just go about normally, of course, but how are you going to say if there's a wreck? Okay, if there's an accident involving you and Greger Hutto, and it's not, you don't think it's your fault, which it never is, obviously. I'm just not talking about you, I'm just talking about everybody. And it's not your fault. How are you going to say that it was Greger's fault? How are you going to blame Greger Hutto?
Dealing with taking out Hutto, I think you need to consult Joonas Nukarinen about that. He has first-hand experience of that.
Oh, he's taken out Hutto, huh? Oh yeah,
yeah.
he has.
Hutto has actually taken me out once. It was in Suzuka 2012, going into the hairpin. He tapped my rear wing and sent me flying and my race ended.
So you were wrecked by Greger Hutto, how does it feel?
Yeah, it felt amazing. I wasn't even mad.
And it was the touch that Greger had with you.
Yes.
Greger touched you, and that is the source of your power.
That sounds so inappropriate. He touched me, yes. But I won't point to where.
he touched you in your rear.
Yes, indeed.
So I guess it was, should I say, too tight, since you ended in the wall.
So Greger's first full lap out, 19.5, so not quite into Enzo's pace, that's about half a second off, but it's still quick, pretty much faster than anyone else in the server has been able to in the whole race.
Yeah, as expected. But also, interestingly, Greger is not as sideways as Enzo is. It's gonna be interesting if Greger can improve on that, maybe just using the first lap to, you know, carve the car into his wheel, and in the second lap he's gonna pour it on, or perhaps he's just, you know, planning to just drive it home, really. He doesn't really need to push it.
Just by looking at the driving, you can tell he doesn't drive it like Enzo does. He does it a lot easier. He doesn't go as sideways, he doesn't vanish off the setup.
Oh no, Greger, he's really, I think he's a bit sloppy, inconsistent. I mean, his first full lap was 119.523, so I'm saying it 2000 because his next lap was 119.527. So there's 0.004 of a second off between his lap times.
That is just unacceptable.
Yeah, that's too much. I think that kind of inconsistency and that kind of sloppy driving is gonna be really the downfall of Greger Hutto.
Indeed. Oh wow, Inex has really caught up to Dark Contigo Racing, and Inex is going for a move in turn 1 for the second place in the second place of the race.
It's actually the lead right now.
William makes it stick.
So, ladies and gentlemen, William Levac is for Inex Racing Yellow is now in P2 in this race.
Indeed.
That's gonna be interesting to see what happens. Oh! And Dark Contigo is in the wall. Dark Contigo crashed. David Alexis Jordan crashed a Dark Contigo car into the wall in turn number 5. And guess what that means?
I hit the wall.
Yeah, he hit the wall, and guess what that means? That means that if his damage is too much, which as it right now looks, it might be the case, then Glacier Racing 2 might be in P3.
And apologies, you're probably missing it because Backman, who is handling the stream, is not listening to us at the moment, but he's advising our team member who's driving the car. So
The words of wisdom.
yeah, so he can't be changing cameras. So but we're still trying to do our best to commentate on what's going on the track. So
But you've
we'll
been
know what's happening, even though you don't see it.
you've been discussing with Backman during races. He's been advising you too. Does he talk like Yoda when he's advising someone?
No.
Okay. I'm really disappointed, you know. I am really disappointed that Johnny Backman doesn't talk like Yoda because he's a bit of Yoda to the Glacier Racing guys, including me, and the Finnish sim racing community as a whole.
So now, update on the times after the pit stops. It is obviously Team Red Line still in the lead. Inex Racing Yellow now moved up second just a lap ago and is 32.8 seconds behind the lead. Then it's Dark Contigo Racing, which we are not sure if he has damage or not. And
He
it does
has
seem that
damage,
he
but
has he has massive damage because he's losing a lot of time.
Yeah, he's losing a lot of time, and Jari is actually
yeah,
catching up to him
Catching
right now.
up to him.
Should be a pretty straightforward move.
Yeah, we just have to be careful that Dark Contigo doesn't do anything stupid because we do not want a DNF in this race.
Oh, you don't? Really?
And let's see Gregor's lap times. 0.523, 0.527, 0.531. That is just absolutely sloppy. What is he even doing on the racetrack? How can he even bother to be raced? That's just disgusting.
If the next lap is a 0.535, then I am not sure what I should be saying. But yeah, I agree with you. It's absolutely disgusting. It's a disgrace that a man like that is actually crowned the so-called sim racing legend. Anyway, sarcasm
Yeah,
aside.
David Alexis Jordan for Dark Contigo Racing is losing over 2 seconds a lap.
Yeah, and Lohtari is catching him up, and Lohtari actually did a 119.7 in the last lap. So Lohtari is really on pace.
Hopefully this is really easy. And he's all over the place. And
Did you guys see the touch in the wall?
Yeah.
Yeah, we did see the touch. We did mention it, but it wasn't on the stream, I think.
And he's also lagging.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't on the
You're an
stream.
ass.
Yeah.
So David Alexis Jordan is lagging a
I
little
hope
bit. He's
Larry takes
walking
it
around.
really easy now, and I hope
I told him to take it.
David. I hope David realizes that why he should not battle at all for this position.
Yeah, I hope so too, but we have interesting times ahead, so to speak. And here is Lohtari, and he is going to the outside. Yeah, makes a little move on the outside, and hopefully that guy doesn't come too close, David Alexis Jordan. No, it looks
He
like
has so
he
much
is going
damage,
to
his straight line's really
yeah.
screwed up as well. Please don't try anything stupid, please, please, please. Okay, thank you. And our team is up in the P3, nice.
Yeah, Glacier Racing best Blanche Pong Endurance Series 2 team is now up in P number 3. So we have current order, running order is we have Team Red Line Black with some dude called Gregor Hutto driving for them right now, leading this race. Then Inex Racing Yellow in second place, Glacier Racing Best 2 in third place. Then we have Dark Contigo Racing 2 in fourth, Pure Racing Team 111 currently fifth place. Then we got Phoenix Motorsports nicely in the sixth, Ilya Flat 6 Racing in P7, Iberica in 8th.
IRJ is Irish in Japan for those of you wondering.
Yeah, it's iRacing Japan, and it's a really nice team name too. iRacing Japan Flat 6 Racing. It just sounds right. And
They're
interestingly
really tight
enough,
battle with Breaker Racing.
and it's interesting to note that iRacing doesn't actually have any Japanese GD cars.
Oh, another chat spam bot. Another spam bot with a chat unit for you to clean up.
Woohoo!
So yeah, now we just have to hope and pray that nothing happens to our car in the next 48
No,
minutes.
it will wreck. It will wreck. Just say it will wreck, because every time we hope like that, some shit's gonna happen. It will
Yeah,
wreck.
we're definitely gonna wreck in the next
Yeah,
48
we're gonna
minutes.
wreck.
That's just gonna happen.
Moreno is passing someone. Yeah, fighting for P8 with Iberica Racing Team. It's getting hot out there. No,
Oh, and Jari's in the wall. Jari's in the wall.
Yeah. I know you are because I'm watching Jari.
And we good here because we're in the same session, so we got what's going on.
Third one, dive in! Yay! There we go. Moreno is going for a pass. And Naoya decides to back out. Naoya Nagai replaces Tomoki Konno now after the second pit stop.
And meanwhile, Anthony Rosselli and Tapani Linnaluoto are fighting for P14 for Glacier Racing.
Meanwhile, Huttu has slouched. He had two laps there which weren't 5s, 0.839 and then 0.721 until he got back into 0.5. That is just absolutely unacceptable. That's disgusting. That's just poor driving. How can one even do that?
Hey, wow, we have Radical's car chasing Glacier Racing car that is
I
actually
just
intact.
said that.
Yeah, but it's intact.
Ah.
It's not. It doesn't look like a donut that was just squeezed by Cristiano Ronaldo when he cried for the 157th time.
Not enough times. Anyway, yeah. Anthony Rosselli is battling with Tapani Linnaluoto as we go on, and Tapani is really... I'm looking at his lap times right now, and I wonder if Joni Hagner picked up some damage during his stint, or whether
most
it's
likely he did. There was a few contacts.
Yeah,
the Warning Sim Racing car white in front of them is just a fucking banana.
Language.
I apologize. Family show.
Boarding code doesn't apply to my stream, dude.
Oh, okay then.
And it's an official stream, so it's okay.
Yeah.
So anyway,
comeback is not Israel. It's
if
Italy.
I wanted my own comeback, I would lick it off your mother's chin.
Comeback Italy. It's not comeback Israel. It's comeback Italy. Which means always fail.
Yeah, and Anthony Rosselli is really now pouring the pressure on Tapani Linnaluoto, and some dudes mentioned earlier that there is some damage indeed in that Glacier Racing McLaren. So, and the damage that Hagner picked up in contact with Honda SimSport. Now, if that is true, then that would explain why Tapani Linnaluoto's lap times are a bit off the pace, not much, but he is a bit off the pace on the map. He just did a 120.381, which is not that bad, but comparing it to the lead guys who are in the high 19s, and even... Oh, and there's contact. In turn
a bit of a bump.
Yeah, Rosselli gave Linnaluoto a bit of a bump entering the turn number 7, so... Or as we call it, Lesmo 2.
Yeah, it's understandable though, because the BMW is superior on the brakes, so it's easy to make that kind of a... you underestimate or misjudge the braking distance of the McLaren. It's very easy to happen if you have a car behind with superior braking. It happens. The effect is much more visible in the prototype races where you have the HPDs or VTPs, and then you have a slower car class. When Rosselli is now making a move into turn 1.
Please, good. Rosselli makes a nice, good, clean pass. Just want to get by in the get by Tapani as quick as possible, and makes the move to take in turn number 1. It was a clean move, and Tapani didn't really fight back too badly. He was just trying to nurse his car home really, and pick up some valuable points. Now this is interesting also because Glacier Racing number 1 doesn't really need. They are not in a do or die situation, unlike the number 2 team, in a sense that Glacier Racing number 1 picked already a good, I think, 5th place finish in yesterday's race. So they're not in a do or die situation. Of course, improving the points is going to prove crucial and even vital. 300 point lead would be nice, but they're not really going to lose anything by having a bit of a subpar result in this race. Or well, not a subpar result, but a P14 is perhaps a bit lower. P15 right now than would be expected of the team.
Yeah, but you have to remember that even if they're not improving their points, by them racing the race as fast as they can, they are taking away points from other teams.
That is true.
So that's a good reason to actually finish the race as high position as they can, because those few lost positions or gained positions that are taken away from the other teams that might be prove to be crucial at the end of the season.
Yeah, and as we look at Tapan Linnalo right now, he's...
Almasberger is making a move on the damaged car of Dark Contigo Racing Team and makes a clean pass.
Yeah, he makes a clean pass, and Dark Contigo Racing Team with David Alexis Jordan behind the wheel is up struggling a little bit, but he's doing a good job keeping the car on track so far. So if he's gonna finish...
Except the first lap.
Yeah, keeping the car on track so far. In what I mean by that is the damaged car. So if he can bring it home, say inside top 10, there's gonna be still some good points for that team.
Yeah, I wonder how devastated is Jesus Cecilia right now, because
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
2
he drove
hours
the
of
stint
clean
of the start.
driving. He drives to P3, changes a driver, and then 1 lap out of the pits, and he wrecks into turn 5. I mean, how devastating must that be for Jesus Cecilia? He did an awesome 2-hour stint. Onboard Huttu, sure.
I'm gonna take a break for about 10 minutes.
No, you're not!
So we lost Riku, anyway.
Yeah. So, onboard Gregor Hutsu here, and driving the same car with the same setup as Enzo did earlier in the stint. But look at his motion. I mean, no countersteer whatsoever. He's not pulling low 19s, but he's lapping consistently fast. I mean, looking at his last lap times, ever since he came behind the wheel, 19.5, 0.8, 0.7, 0.5, 0.7, 0.9, 0.9. And just look at Gregor's wheel when he goes through the corners. You saw how Enzo Bonito handled the wheel. He was oversteering in pretty much every entry and every exit.
Oh, meanwhile, I'll interrupt you for a second. Just go on with onboard, but David Alexis Jordan is struggling now a lot. He just lost 2 further positions, and he's driving a bit slow. But yeah, let's go on with Gregor Huttu.
But yeah, just look at Gregor's wheel inputs. He's not oversteering in any point, and yet he's matching the lap times, almost matching the lap times. And again, 19.6 without even looking at he's pushing. Again, turn 1. Smooth entry, no countersteer whatsoever. Smooth on top of the hill. Now this is a tight corner. Brakes, no countersteer, still no countersteer. I mean, that the throttle control and the wheel control of this guy is just unimaginary. I mean, he's driving the same car that Enzo for 2 hours straight was oversteering in every corner, and this guy makes the same lap times but without even making it look like he's driving fast.
Yeah, it's almost hypnotizing. He's almost hypnotizing.
It doesn't
to
matter
watch
what
Gregor
car
Huttu
he's
driving.
in. I mean, even if he's in a Lotus 49, he's fast, but without making it look fast.
Oops, and we got contact between Naya Nagai
Bad
of
contact,
Racing
big
Japan.
contact.
Yeah, David Alexis Jordan just, well, I think Nagai, to be honest, pinched him a little bit in the second part of the chicane.
Replay!
Yeah, replay, and let's see. Let's see
Coming
now.
Coming on the straight, approaching the chicane.
Yeah,
There's
in the
a
end of
camera
the
angle.
chicane.
Yeah.
And David Alexis Jordan was really, he was trying to hold his position. I mean, he was on the outside, and Alexis Jordan with the damaged car just turned in, gave all the room in the world for, who was that guy? Naya Nagai. Gave Nagai all the room in the world, and Nagai just turned into the apex of the second part of the chicane, and Alexis Jordan was now already in the, over the curbing, and then just slid wide. He just couldn't hold his car, ran off track, and as soon as he tried to rejoin the track, there was just no room for him. So I think Naya Nagai can only blame himself for that contact. Granted, also, if I would have been David Alexis Jordan, I wouldn't have tried to fight for that position, considering the damage in the car. There's nothing to gain in him for it. Unless there's a wreck, of course. But yeah, that's a really unfortunate situation for our Racing Japan Flat Stick Racing, which is doing a really good job so far. Has been consistently fighting for P5, and now they're dropped to P9. But they still started from P16, so that's a good improvement from them, and team I would really like to see do well.
Yeah, that's unfortunate, but I mean, on the other hand, David was about to lose positions anyway. I mean, his car was so badly damaged that I don't see why he had to fight too wide through that chicane with a car that was really a handful to even manage with like proper racing line. So I really think David should have just backed off and let him have the position. I mean, that was I would say uncalled for wreck, because of if you're driving a damaged car like that and you're really off the pace, you shouldn't fight for through a chicane like that. He could have just eased off and let him through.
Meanwhile, there is a good point in the race chat in that we remember Inex Racing Blue. With Teemu Ivonen behind the wheel, they had a disconnect. Teemu Ivonen lost his connection. They lost a lap, and they are right now driving in P number 8. And they have actually gained back the lap they lost. So they're currently scored 1 minute 13 seconds behind the leaders, and on the
yes,
lead
but
lap.
They have to make another pit stop because of the
That
disconnection.
is true.
I mean, they are currently following the same pit cycle as everyone else is, as you can see right on the screen. Teemu is doing fast lap times, actually faster than William Levesque in P2, but they are still in a different pit cycle because Teemu had a disconnection on lap number 55, after which Dave Geeling did a full stint. Next pit stop was at 89. 89. Actually, well, no, not with the pace that. Let me just recalculate that.
I'm gonna chime
they
in.
actually can do the entire race with that stint. I mean, Teemu drove 8 laps, then disconnected. Dave went there and took the driving turn, but he pitted on lap 90, so they actually didn't make another pit stop. They just took the tow. And if Teemu's disconnection happened at close proximity to the pits, they didn't actually lose that much time by taking the tow. So yeah, they are not in a different cycle, so they still can fight for P7 or P6? P7
Yeah,
at least.
about
David
that.
is surely gonna catch David.
And also another thing to mention is that, and one team we haven't focused on much, is Keika Shube, currently driving P number 11 in that Falcon GV car. Now, the middle stint was driven by Marcel Weimers, whose lap times were inconsistent at best. Between high 120s, low 121, so on. Now Keika Shube is back behind the wheel of the car. They have damage at least on the left rear, and damage in the front. Looks like a little bit of damage in the front as well. Now Keika Shube's lap time. His first full lap was a 1:19.2. I will repeat that. Keika Shube drove 1:19.272 on his first full lap in this stint. He has been over the 1 minute 20 second mark twice during his so far 15 lap stint. And the guy's last lap was 1:19.820, and his driving is really something to behold right now. So hats off to Keika Shube, he is really going like hell, to be honest, right now. And Keika Shube, you may have some memories from Keika Shube, Joni, but he's really catching up to Jonathan Buddle in the Mr. Le Mans in the Forza Honda Simsport car right now in front of him. So he's catching up to Buddle, and he might catch up also to Rafa Bordeaux in the Tiberica Racing Southern car in P number 9. So Kashube is on the charge, and he's right now the man to watch in this race.
Yeah, he is. He will most definitely, I would say, get past Jonathan Butel, but then from him to Rafa Bordeaux, there's another 1.5 seconds. But after that, I think he will run out of road, because to be able to catch Teemu in P8 would take another 11.3 seconds. So Teemu is actually matching his lap times currently. Teemu is actually just about to pass David Alexis Jordan. So David with the damaged car on the inside. No, please don't repeat what you do. Please don't repeat what happened to Jari Lohtari. No, thank goodness they didn't. Even it backs out, but on the next straight he surely should get past because of that damage. The car of Darkon Tinga Racing Team should definitely have way less top speed. Yeah, he definitely lacks the top speed. Teemu has no problem of passing him. So P7 for Teemu. But yeah, Keika Shube will actually be able to pass. My guess will be he will be able to pass Hotel Bordeaux and David Alexis Jordan. So P8 might be possible for the Falcon GP team.
And can you take a quick look? You probably have the results open. Do you have Falcon GP's previous results from this week? Would that be a do or die situation for Keiko Super right now?
1 second. It would be easier if the team series statistics page was finally working for a change, but nope.
But there is something that doesn't work in iRacing.
Yep. Every
Oh.
now and then. Make it every time. They didn't race in the Saturday evening race. At least I can't find Falcon GP name anywhere. I'm having a look at the American start.
That would make sense because Keiko Super is, I believe, Japanese. So for his time zone, that
What?
would be a really difficult place to
Japanese?
make. Isn't he?
No,
Where's he from?
I think Netherlands or something.
Keiko Super, you sure? Hang on, let me check.
I'm pretty
this.
sure.
Oh,
Falcon
yep,
GP.
Club Dutch.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just it's one of those things. I always
Yeah, they-
assumed.
They haven't raced at all. Falcon GP has not done a single race, so this is do or die for them.
Wow, and they just passed Jonathan Woodall for P number 10. So they
By
just
the
passed
way,
it.
the final strength of field should be pretty close to. It should be pretty final right now. Everyone has done their pit stops, and the final strength of field, from what I'm seeing currently, is 5,320.
Holy
So
shit.
the winner of this race will gain 344 points. That's approximate, of course. That's an estimate, of course. It can be like 10 to 15 points difference, but according to this sheet, Gregor Hutu should gain 344 points. William Levesque would have 335 points for INX Racing. Jari Lohtari would score 326 points for Glacier Racing. Andreas Almensberger would score. What's the team in P4 right now?
That would be Pure Racing Team.
Yeah, Pure Racing team will get 317 points. Moreno in the Iberica Racing team will get 307. Jonathan Fuller will get 298. So quite a lot of points are available for you here, especially for the top 5.
Yeah, indeed. And I was just, as I'm watching the commentary in the chat, I would just like to apologize for. I always just assumed Keiko Super was Japanese, so I just called him in that mind without wanting to check. But he's apparently from Germany, or at least Club DH, as it states.
Yeah, I think he's Austrian actually.
So, Keiko Super Mr. International.
Yeah, Club DH. He is Club DH, but I think he's from Austria. I can actually double check that.
Okay, if you do that, we will be finally able to settle that discussion of the origin of Keiko Super. In any case, Keiko Super
No,
is
not
driving-
Austrian. Not Austrian.
Not Austrian.
Yeah, he's German.
Okay, he's German. So Lars from Pure Racing Team was correct then. In the chat, thank you, Lars, for that piece of
No,
information.
he's Filipinian.
What?
Dude, www.recognizethegoddamntroll.com.
No, it's late. It's late. Also pointing out. Oh, we have another spam bot in chat. So get the ban hammers ready. Meanwhile, I would also like to point out the fact that 2 very fast sim racers are originally registered from Singapore. That will be, of course, and it's a quiz really on who 2 I'm talking about. Not who 2, but which 2 sim racers are originally from Singapore. Very recognizable sim racers, and the
He's not originally from Singapore.
originally
he joined
registered.
Sim Racing. He joined Sim
Originally
Racing.
registered to iRacing from Singapore.
Yeah.
But who am I talking about? That's a question to the chat, of course, because some might not know it. So we don't have prizes to offer, but would just like to mention that. As a little bit of a quiz now that we have 25 minutes remaining in this race. Yep, that's one of them. So Marcus Lenderman is, or Mr. Slenderman, as we call him, is originally from Singapore. So he would be one of them. I believe he's from Singapore at least. But the other guy is, of course, our very familiar guy, and I have a 5-point tip I'm going to give. He is he doesn't have an Asian sounding name. So yeah, that's a tip for you. And
Keika Schube gets past Rafa Bordeaux, by the way.
yeah, and sorry, Lars from Pure Racing Team, but we don't allow links in the chat purely for the reason of spam bots being so frequent in Twitch chats. So typing out the link has to be done manually or just told someone. But yeah, we don't allow links in the chat, so that's a setting off. But apparently Keika Schube also has a website, kashuberacing.com. So Keika Schube really making a name for himself also in the GD3 class, as well as he used to in the GD2 and GD1 classes.
And he will gain another position here from David Alexis Jordan, who has the damaged car. His last lap of David was 1:23.2. Dave Kashube is like 3 seconds faster. But like I said, after he gets past David, he's in P8. Will get close to 300 points from this effort, but after that he will run out of road because he has 26 minutes to catch Teemu Ivonen, who is 12 seconds in front of him, and matching his laps up to like 2 or 3 tenths.
Yeah,
So,
them and K are
P8
really the
still.
guys to watch right now.
But Keika Schube Falcon GP started in P23, and they are going to get P8, so they will be the biggest gainers of the race, actually, because another good gain is for Acer Coanda SimSport. They were down to P24 in qualifying, and now they are P11. So good result for them as well. Another good that we actually haven't talked about pretty much at all is the Odox Motorsport, driven currently by Christian Manzano. They started P28 and they're about to get P14 in the top split. I've never recall of hearing about Christian Manzano on track, but he's making a name for Odox Motorsports right now.
Yeah, and I'm just going to browse back. Christian Manzano, I believe I met him on track a couple of times in the GD3 class. And yeah, he's really driving well for the Odox Motorsport car, and he is actually currently fighting with Tapan Lindeloto of Glacier Racing. And that's a name we have heard of a couple of times. So now that Mr. Cecilia is out of his car and watching as David Alexis Jordan is behind the wheel of that car, we only have one Jesus on track.
What happened to David Alexis Jordan? As soon as he let Keika Schube pass, he dropped to, currently showing me that he's down to P12. Did he go wide or something?
I'm just browsing back, trying to look at this lap, turn 5. He spun in turn 5 and hit nose first into the wall. So turn 5 strikes again. He actually went loose in the corner, so it wasn't the bump. And he went nose first, head on into the inside barrier, into the inside tar wall, spun off, and he's trying to keep going, but oh no, wow, that's a big one. And somehow that car is still going, and David Alexis Jordan has crashed it now twice on his stint, so not the best effort for David Alexis Jordan in that Dark Contigo Racing Team car.
Yeah, both times in turn 5.
Yeah. We're double whammy, so he's now in P12, and wow. I don't know about Jesus Cecilia, but I imagine that he must be ripping his hair out right now, watching that.
Unless he's bald.
Yeah, I was just about to say, unless he's bald, and there have been, of course, that's impossible because there are no good bald sim races, right?
Tapani is also making a pass on David Alexis Jordan into turn 6, gets P12.
Yeah, and outside clean pass.
Yeah.
And Jordan
that was actually
really
brave that
much.
he went for an outside pass that late, because there could have been a good chance that the damaged rough might have been pushing wide.
Yeah, that is true, but I think Tapani saw the opportunity and made hay.
What the hell is that? I'm just gonna be off for 10 minutes. The guy just said, one certain individual told it in the stream about 20 minutes ago.
Who that might be? Jody Backman is here. Jonas Puhakka is here talking right now.
Yeah.
So who was the third guy?
So the only guy left is the mysterious guy from Singapore.
Yeah, the mysterious guy from Singapore. Oh, returning to that, yes, good one. Of course, we're still looking for a name for that guy.
Yeah, take over for a second, I'm gonna visit Lottery.
Sure. So yeah, I'm just following right now a bit of an update from the lead. We have Gregor Hutto still in the lead, obviously, and he has during his entire stint, which includes traffic. Mind you, this is now 2 hours and 40 minutes into this race, into this event. We have 40 teams on 39 teams, of which about 30 are still on track, so there's gonna be a lot of traffic. Gregor Hutto has been over the 120 mark only 3 times during his stint. Actually 4 times, but still. The guy is doing one hell of a stint, and he's driving so calmly. His previous lap was on 119.9, and that is in a clear lead. Not overdriving the car at all, so he's just proving his word also in GT cars. As we know, Gregor is a fast guy, but it's just great also watching this man in action. And it's a real threat. And treat to watch Gregor Hutto and Enzo Bonito team, and also a real treat to discuss and try to find a challenger for those guys, because they have really put a challenge to the entire world of sim racing, in the sense that, hey, we're gonna put together this dream team of 2 guys in Team Red Line Black. Can anyone match those 2 guys? And that is the interesting question. Can anyone match the dominance of Team Red Line Black this qualifier season or in the next Endurance World Championship season? There are, of course, other good teams as well. We have Conda Simsport, who have been also the maybe the toughest rivals of Team Redline right now. We have Core Motorsport, we have Pure Sim Racing, we have Iberica Racing Team, of course we have Glacier Racing, and Radicals Online, and Phoenix Motorsports, and Inex Racing, of course. And those are the toughest competitors that Team Redline has right now, and they gotta really put together a real effort in order to fight with Team Redline and Team Redline's dominance in this in the roadside. So that is one thing to watch out for, and I believe we're in for interesting times, because if guys like who are also fast sim racers, like GD guys like Koandas or Björn Jens and Marcus Lenderman and those guys, if they can really match the team of Gregor Hutto and Enzo Bonito, it's gonna be really interesting times ahead. And also, what will the Inex Racing guys do? What will Inex Racing's Sturgis brothers really fast do? And what will those other guys do? So, yeah, it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting to follow the endurance race also, even though I am a bit gutted that the races are only 3 hours, but it's also understandable. So it's gonna be interesting dynamic, and whether any of those teams, Inex Racing and Radicals Online and Team Redline and so on, fail to actually make it. Because remember, it only takes 1 bad week and you might be out of the top 40, because it's not only this top split that counts. There's so many splits, 7 splits in this race, that we have even from 3rd split, somebody with a good result, say a top 5, might be at the top 40 at the end of the week. And if that goes on, there might be that guy might be dropping someone, some top team that is having a bad week, out of the contention by the end of the season. And that is of course how it goes. So it's not as clear cut as it would appear at the start of the season. Especially as Inex Racing and Radicals Online and even Team Redline and those teams and Glacier Racing are fielding more than 1 team. There's 3 or 4 teams from each of those teams, and they are really fielding strong efforts and trying to maximize their chances on as many drivers as possible making the show by the end of the season. And from a driver's perspective, now pure from driver's perspective, I'm driving for Glacier Racing number 3, best number 3 team in the McLaren with Joni Takanen and Teemu Valkajärvi. And from driver's perspective, it's really nerve-wracking if there's 1 bad race. If the first race fails, ideally we would like a good result from the first race so we can go to the latter 2 races and have a bit of weight off our shoulders, so to speak. Like going to the latter 2 races and not having to worry about it too much. But if something happens like this week, when our race was totally failed in the first race, we only got 130 points or something in that one, and you go into the second and third races, in the second race you go like, okay, let's do better this time. What can be improved some last time and so on. And if something happens in that race, then the third race is really nerve-wracking, as we were seeing from Glacier Racing number 2. who are currently in third, but they haven't been making any risky moves whatsoever. And that's because they can't afford them. They can't afford to take any risk that might compromise their end result. So yeah, Glacier Racing best 2 right now in third place with Terry Lohtari behind the wheel, and he's been driving good lap times as well. Lohtari has been double stinting, so he must be hurting right now. He's changed in from Kimmo Suominen in lap 46. It's now lap 120, so Lohtari has been driving for close to 80 laps right now. And he's still doing low 120s, high 19s on track. So he's only a couple of tenths second off Gregory Huttu's pace actually. So yeah, it's not only luck that Glacier Racing Best 2 is in there, they actually proved their worth in this race. And have proven their worth by driving a good race and a consistent clean race. They're right now 13 seconds, as you can see on the screen, 13 seconds behind the second placed Inox Racing yellow car. So that's gonna be something, a mountain to climb, and they're not gonna be very likely to catch that one. So William Levac looks to be safe in finishing this race in second place. But yeah, Lohtari's been driving really well and so far is proving the first wrong. Meanwhile, as you are following on the stream, the Glacier Racing #1 car with Tapani Lindeluoto behind the wheel. And he's currently scored, I believe, in 12th position, just ahead of the Audax Motorsport car, Christian Manzano. So Manzano is really making a name for himself. He's right now catching Tapani Lindeluoto. And if he can make the pass on Lindeluoto's damaged car, he'll be in P12, and that's going to be a real statement from Audax Motorsport as well, because the big teams are going to take notice of each newcomer and wonder if they can repeat performance. And of course, Audax Motorsport will be now taking points away from Red Evolution Racing, Mad Car Racing, Vortex Sim Racing, all big names, and they're going to be really putting their spoon into the soup and going to be like, hey, we're in this too, and we have every right to be in this too, as they have. So they might ended up being one of the black horses of the season, so to speak. And I really need someone to talk to in here. It's getting lonely, and I'm drinking water, and I feel really ill for some reason. But we have 10 minutes to go, ladies and gentlemen, in this race. 48 viewers, thank you. And we have 10 minutes to go in this race, or 12 minutes rather. And the closest fought battle on track right now is that for P number 12 between Tapani Lindeluoto and Christian Manzano, and Manzano has run on him but decides it's better to not try and overtake on the chicane yet this lap, but Lindeluoto's gonna be feeling the heat right now and probably is actually going to surrender that position quite easily if Manzano gets around him, because there's not much poor Tapani can do against the onslaught of full straight line speed. So yeah, Christian Manzano is really pouring it on, and his previous lap was 120.5. And Tapani Lindeluoto's previous lap was 120.4, so that seems to be around the pace of the so-called mid-pack right now. And I really apologize that I'm not really getting any heat of the moment, so to speak, in my commentary. I'm just trying to talk. And I'm doing that because I'm feeling quite ill, so I can't just bring my voice up. Also, I live in an apartment and it's about midnight right now, so that might have something to do with it. And look who's here, the mystery man from Singapore has woken up. Hello, Rico.
Hello.
So how was that 10-minute nap?
It was good.
Yeah. Seems like you really enjoyed it. So much that it might have been a bit over 10 minutes.
Maybe slightly.
Yeah. So Rico, how have you been enjoying this third stint? What is your views analyzing after spending so much time thoroughly analyzing the stint and really examining the drivers and their performances? Who do you think is the best driver so far in this stint?
I have to say Joni Hagler.
He's not driving.
Exactly.
So yeah, just to give an update to you as well, Tapsa and Tapani Lindeluoto and Christian Manzano are right now trying for P12, fighting for P12 rather. The guys who used to be in the second place, the Dark Contigo Racing team, has dropped to P14 thanks to two crashes in turn 5 by David Alexis Jordan, so they've been the big droppers of this stint. And other movers include Keika Shube, who is driving the wheels of that Falcon GP BMW and is currently right now in P8, believe it or not. So Kashube is really pulling his word. And he's been actually lapping around the same bracket of lap times that Huttu is doing.
That's good. And we're about to lap Dark Contigo. Who was in front of us at the start of the stint.
Yeah, that's really shows what one bad stint can do to the end result of the team. Also, surprises of this race so far is maybe Inex Racing being as high as second. I expected them maybe in top 5, but I didn't expect them in second place. Of course, also Pure Racing team being in P4 right now, the Pure Racing 111 car, which is right now piloted by Andreas Almansberger, and that's a really good result so far from them. If they can secure P4, that's over 300 points, and that would be really a great result for that team. Alberca Racing is doing well, Phoenix Motorsport quite well, and the interesting part is Vortex Sim Racing's bit of an unfortunate race, so to speak. So Vortex Sim Racing White is scored 26 currently, will not score points in this race because they have not completed enough laps, and they haven't scored any previous results from this weekend either, or any of those worth mentioning. So they gonna really need to be top 5, top split in the remaining 5 weeks to make it in the big show. So it's cruel that even during the first week, as we have car on the wall, that's Ivo Hoveler of Vortex Sim Racing Red actually, just as I mentioned it. So their chance of making the big show are pretty slim right now, even during the first week. And we also have a spinner, and that's David Alexis Jordan, ladies and gentlemen. He has spun in turn number 7 and will continue on track. I will just check if we had any wall hits there or not. No, just a clean spin in turn number 7. So, difficult stint for Mr. Alexis Jordan so far.
Yeah, I'm just happy that our Glacier car is doing very well, and hopefully they can make it to the end.
Thanks, Lick, for that insight. Yeah, Jari Lohtere is still driving in P3 with 5 minutes to go in the race, or 6 minutes to go. He's driving P3, 13 seconds ahead of him and 12 seconds to behind him, so that place looks pretty secure, and Jari just has to bring it home right now. I don't want to, however, curse him, because anything can happen in the endurance race even during the last 5 minutes, so Jari, just please bring it home. So as we'll watch the slow motion, the Evo Hopper spin in turn number 5, and it's in one slow motion Vortex Sim Racing's day in a nutshell, in a sense that they've been really unlucky today, and my sympathies to them, but yeah, it's a cruel world of the endurance series, and even if a team is banking on one race like Falcon GP is doing, like Redline seems to be doing, and they really, if they bank on one race, then if that one race fails, well, they're gonna end up really poor, and that might be the end of their campaign. So it's really unfortunate, but it's a chosen risk, so to speak. As we were following also the fight between Tapani Lindelotto and Christian Manzano for P number 12, we saw that Manzano had a little bit of an effort to try and pass Lindelotto in the back straight, but just couldn't quite make it. And this is interesting because as I'm looking at the car of Christian Manzano, Odox Motorsport car, it appears to have slight amount of damage maybe in the front end, but overall it looks good. So in theory, and purely in theory, and as we've seen, it might mean that they should just breeze by the Glacier Racing McLaren, which is slower in a straight line, but that proves not to be the case.
Oh, and there's going to be a pass for P9. Antonio Rosselli of Verticals 19 is going to go past Rafa Bordeaux of Flyburger Racing Zalem for the 9th spot.
Yeah, that seems to be the case. And Antonio Rosselli, he is really made a move stick right now. And that's interesting, talking about Radicals Online number 1 team, because they had that spin, remember, lap 1 Mac button spun in the chicane. Not much damage, but their car they dropped to almost last place, like P30 or something. And they've been clawing their way up steadily from there to be in P9 right now, with Anthony Rosselli and Mac Buckham and also Wyatt Gooden driving in that car. And especially Wyatt Gooden's stint, the second stint, was really important for them in gaining positions. So they've been driving a really solid race to be able to end up in P number 9 so far in this race. And Christian Manzano hasn't yet got past Tapani Lindelof either, so Tapani is really defending his positions well, and it looks like he doesn't even need to defend that much right now. So maybe Manzano has worn out his tires or something, but in either case, I just hope he has a cool head enough not to challenge for the positions too much. I mean, even though we're at the final laps of this race, we have 3 minutes on the clock right now remaining, so he really needs to stay consistent and stay on it, so to speak. I apologize, 7 minutes on the clock, I was looking at the wrong clock. And Manzano has now overtaken Tapan Lindelof for that P12 and really moves around to block him right afterwards. Or not block him, but it's interesting. Manzano passed him on the outside on the back straight and then moved right over to the inside, switched lanes so Tapani couldn't pass him on the inside, and Tapani was really loose there. Tapani had to brake it to avoid him and turn right, and he almost crashed her, so that was really unnecessary, so to speak, from Christian Manzano there. It was a clean enough of a move, but that was really unnecessarily risky.
I mean, you already passed by that point, you're gonna finish the move anyway, so why risk it for the biscuit?
Yeah, exactly. And I wouldn't have you seldom see that in a guy that he passes on a straight line already and then moves over to block the defending side. I mean, it kind of makes sense, but you seldom see it in these GT cars. Usually it's straightforward moving that the guys will respect the other guy enough to hold their line, but that doesn't seem to be the case. Christian Manzano, in that he wants to secure his position and protect himself against any dive bombs or late brakes. And it seems that Tapani can't really follow him in close proximity enough to attempt an overtake right now, as we're following those two scrapping for P number 12, so it looks like it's Manzano's position to lose right now, with that superior straight line speed of the rough.
Just 5 minutes or so remaining in the race, so about 5 laps probably.
Yeah, 4 or 5 laps.
Been good so far. For everyone, I mean, there's top 5 is pretty much. Well, actually, there's Julian Rodriguez Moreno is really close to Andreas Olmensberger for the 4th place, so we'll see if they're gonna try to improve on that. That is the only close battle in the top 5, or in the top 10, I would like to say. Yeah.
Interestingly enough, the Codex Sim Racing white car I mentioned, which we saw getting in that huge wreck and still going on, that racing of a car, they're still going. They're 67 laps behind the leaders, but they're still going. Andy Gordon is really keeping the car going, and despite the car being in horrible shape, it actually seems to be doing rather reasonable pace. 122.7 is really not bad from a car that is on a shape like that car is. That car is really in a bad condition, and he's been actually scoring 121.4 as his fastest lap so far in this race. So since Norbert Sulzer pitted that car and Andy Gordon went into the car, they've been only able to complete 63 laps, so I guess they're in it for experience rather than trying to necessarily finish the race or get any points from this so far. So, it looks like Hutto's race, huh? Or Redline's race, rather.
Yeah, so far. Gosh, I'm just looking for the race for P4, it's still really close. As well the race for P12, but Julian is really close to, or Julian, or however you want to say it, is really close to Andres, but unfortunately he's in the Beamer, and passing is going to be really difficult. We're gonna have to see if he's gonna go for a late move at the end of the race.
Fight for P4 is on.
Yep, that's what we were talking about just now.
Yeah, Almansberger
And I
versus
fucking called it!
Andres Almansberger and Julian Rodriguez Moreno are now fighting for P4 indeed, and that's gonna be Pure Racing Team versus Iberica Racing. Both of them good races so far, really surprised of the race. But
Ivonen is gonna catch up to Jonathan Fuller for P6 before the end of the race, so we're gonna have to see if Alex is gonna manage to get P6.
yeah, you're gonna follow that, and I'm gonna follow the battle for P4, but that will be a really good result for them. And let's remember, I'm right now reminding everyone that Inex Racing Blue had a disconnect in this race, and they were running in, I believe, P4 before the disconnect, or P3.
P3.
Yeah, they were looking really good in P3 before disconnect, and they're still having a shot right now at P6, running currently at P7, so good stuff from Inex Racing not to give up, but instead try and get a good result from this race. And that's what you should do. Once you start a race, you should be finishing it, no matter what happens, as long as it's possible. And it's also different from normal races, these endurance races. Of course, they're longer and they're team efforts, but also when it's a team effort, you really want to finish the race not only for yourself, but for your teammates as well. For the all the hard work you put in during the days and the weeks preparing prior to the race. So you don't want to throw it all away, but instead get a good result. And not only for yourself, but for the other guys as well. And even if you can't get a good result, even if you're running P27 with a broken car, you're still gonna finish the race, just to say that you made it. No matter what happened, you made it and you finished it.
I'm pretty sure that Greger is gonna start his final lap right now. So Ivonen has 2 laps to go to catch Jonathan Fuller.
Yeah,
the lap time,
that's the
Jonathan
case.
did 20.6, whereas Ivonen did 19.9, so it is possible still.
Last lap for Gregor Hood.
Yeah, and how in the hell is Ivan doing a 19.9 at this stage of the race? He's lapping faster than Hood.
He has
I believe.
draft, but he's on it.
Yeah, Teemu Ivonen has been driving the wheels out of
really
it.
close to.
Yeah, Julian is pretty much in desperate mode right now because they're having traffic, which will give draft for the Pure Racing team. So he really has to make something happen, like in the corner sections.
Yeah, so right now we have Teemu Ivonen on the back straight with Jonathan Fuller moving over, and Jonathan Fuller is actually moving over and giving Teemu Ivonen position. So
I guess they're low on fuel. He's
yeah.
Sure, yeah, they're really low on fuel. Yeah,
They're
I
either
guess
low on fuel or they just didn't want to risk it.
Yeah, they're letting Greger go fast.
Yeah,
because they're low
Greger.
on fuel.
Yeah, Gregor is going in the last corner right now.
So Gregor Huttu wins, huh? That's something
Wow,
we've never heard
that's
before.
something we've never seen before.
Yeah. Team
And then
Redline,
we have to wait for two-thirds of a lap to wait for the next one. Gregor Hood wins. Now it's P2.
We have another spam bot in the chat. And
Why don't you put a banner for gold mine, bro? Why don't you shove that banner up your ass, bro? Because you're going to get banned.
ouch.
And we also have Keika Sugar finishing the race right now in P number 8. So good result for Falcon GP. And Backman, you mentioned earlier something about this guy wrecking, or Glacier Racing Best 2 wrecking.
Yeah, they're still gonna wreck.
There is 3 corners to go, and right now Glacier Racing Best 2 is really coming home. I guess it's safe to say it now. They're coming home to a really strong finish because Jari Lohtari is gonna finish that car along with Kimmo Suominen, and they're gonna finish that car in P number 3, ladies and gentlemen, as they overtake the slow McLaren. Glacier Racing Best 2 really made it in a do-or-die situation to finish P3, and that's a really strong poised effort from those guys. So congratulations to them, and I think, well, my co-commentators actually went in here to congratulate those guys or asking them why didn't they win. But in any case, this race is over, and the final end results are as follows. Team Redline Black, with Enzo Bonito and Gregory Huttu wins the race with a total time of 3 hours and 33 seconds. And in the second place is Inex Racing Yellow. So Inex Racing Yellow grabs home P2, 38 seconds behind Team Redline Black. Glacier Racing Best number 2 finishes home in P3, so nice podium result for them, 52 seconds behind Team Redline. Pure Racing Team number 111 ended up finishing in 4th place, just ahead of Iberica Racing and Inex Racing Blue. So Inex Racing Blue, despite the disconnect, was able to finish in P number 6. In 7th place, Phoenix Motorsport Roof. In 8th place, Falcon GP. Radicals Online GD3 ended up in P9 after dropping to almost dead last in lap number 1, and Iberica Racing Salem runs out the top 10. Interestingly enough, Racer Coanda SimSport number 88 ended up finishing P11, and that is the best Coanda result from this race. Odox Motorsport finished ahead of Glacier Racing Best number 1, P12 and 13. Madcar Racing Bessie, shout out or a shout moo to them in P number 14. Red Evolution Racing number 2 in P number 15. So, I guess those are the most interesting finishers, huh? And notable retirements from this race are Fraser Coanda SimSport number 18, so the main Coanda SimSport effort. They actually were scored dead last, 134 laps behind. And in that main straight / lap 1 wrecks, a grand total of 9 teams, or rather, let me count, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 teams actually went out of the race in lap number 1, scored 134 laps behind, and those teams were actually scored behind iRacing Japan Flat 6 Racing number 87. He scored in P number 30, 134 laps behind. So is Pure Racing Team's other team, number 112, Friction Racing Bandits, Core Motorsports, Trustmaster Mivano Red, Supernova Racing Team, Arberger Racing Interactive, and Team GD BES, and Trinity Motorsports Orange, as well as the aforementioned Racer Coanda SimSport. So, Backman, how did you like the race?
It sucked ass, but yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was a pretty eventful race for a 3-hour endurance race. We had a lot of spins, lots of fair racing this time. Actually, we have surprisingly a lot of like 0x small contacts at the exit of chicane. Lots of clean passing, a few dirty passings, a few blocking. We pretty much had everything that you normally see in a 45-minute sprint race. But that made it especially like intriguing. Like it can compare that to having a 24-hour race where nobody's even attempting to do any moves on the first 2-3 hours, and then the gap spread during those first 2 hours, and then the rest 22 hours is just watching like, hey, yeah, this guy is lapping half a second faster, woohoo, now the gap is only 2 laps. So, yeah, this was pretty entertaining from start to finish. I'm about to open up the results sheets with my other PC right now, so I can actually give you the point share that we have and the final strength of field. Holy shit. Final strength of field is 5,455. The winner got 335 points. Inex Racing Yellow got 326. Glacier Racing 2 had 317. Pure Racing Team got 308. Iberica Racing got 299. Inex Racing Blue got 290. Phoenix Motorsports got 282. Now let me have a look at the split 2 there, just to give a comparison of how competitive the splits are. Winner of second split. The second split strength of field, by the way, which Glacier Racing 2 team won, number 4 team won.
Wow! Congratulations.
No, they won the third split. The second split had a strength of field of 4,413. The winner of second split gained more points than P8 finisher in top split. That just tells how equal and how competitive this series at the moment is. And let's have a look at the third split, which I believe the Glacier Racing 4 team were in, and they, according to Jarno, they won it. No, they were actually in split 4, for Christ's sake. Split 3, strength of field 3,570. So by winning the split number 3, believe it or not, the points for that race would place you equal in the standings with the finisher number 13 in the top split.
Wow.
So you can win split number 3 and still be at the top 40 in the points.
Wow. And I just want to mention, as Jari Lohtari mentioned in the chat, that he had 2 incidents in 2 hours. Wow.
Yeah, that really sucked. You're way too dangerous, dude. You really have to work on your safe driving abilities. Yeah, you're a wrecker. Ask Gohan Keeney if you don't believe me.
God.
Let's have a look at the split 4 then.
Split Are there actually 4, going to be 200 points for a split 4 win?
Split 4, Glacier Racing number 4 won the split 4. The strength of field was 2,883. The winner points was 184, which would give you top split 18 finish.
Wow. So hang on, we have right now, I'm just going to ask a personal question also. Glacier Racing number 3, I believe, earned 220 something points yesterday, correct?
270 something points.
Oh, okay. So never mind. I thought it was like 220 something, and I was like, we're actually.
Well, actually, I'll check that, but I would think that the P9 from the last top split gained you more points than that. I will check that.
Yeah. So in any way, something like 220, 230 points would actually, which would be a winner result normally in a normal week in iRacing.
Yeah, by far.
Like, you would win a the weeks
255.
week by that. Yeah, that's like winning a hot split in iRacing. 230 points or 255 points would be outstanding. That will place you right now in the bubble in the top 40, in the late 30s, in the early 30s, late 30s, and low 40s in positions. So that will place you in the bubble. So just to really drive the point home, how competitive and how equal this series is, 200 points for the week is not enough.
Yeah, I think the margin for top 40 will be about 230 points per week. So by getting P9 in the top split, they are about, I would say, P20, P27, P30 at the end of the week.
Wow, I mean, that's mind-boggling.
Might be. That's just an estimate, but I would think
it's an estimate, but it's an accurate estimate. Of course, when we go further into the season, when the season progresses, I think some of the so-called lesser teams are going to be weed out and not bother participating. Some team which lost their chance in first and second week, they're just gonna be, and we're gonna have less and less entries come week 5 and 6. But still, in the first week of this, now the proper first week of the iRacing Blanchepin Endurance World Championship Series qualifiers, we have 7 splits, and the top split win earns you over 330 points. That's insane.
4x, to answer your question, why so many BMWs and Max in the top split, that's because the rough is not OP. The rough being OP is, I think, some kind of a pathetic statement for people who do not know how to drive the rough fast, or they just are slower than the roughs for some reason. But we've seen in all 3 races, the McLaren is actually equally competitive in terms of lap times, if not even faster than the rough at the early stage of the race. The McLaren does burn their rear tires a little more as the stint progresses, but they still don't drop off dramatically. They match rough pretty close to the straight line speed. They are much better than the roughs handling the curbs, but BMWs are a lot slower on the straights than the McLarens and the roughs. However, the BMW has superior cornering ability, especially in the semi-fast corners, especially in the Road Atlanta turns 2, 3, 4, 5. The BMW actually gains 4 to 5 tenths the McLarens and roughs. So the lap times, if you give clean air qualifying for rough, McLaren and BMW, the lap times are within 1/10 if the same guy, equally fast guy, is in every one of them. So there's no real OP. At the Monza is one of the tracks where the rough was OP because of the fact that it's only a flat-out straight, and even there the McLaren was competitive. But as we go into like Road Atlanta, then we go into Brands Hatch, Zolder, and Spa-Francorchamps, I would think the rough is not anywhere near as OP as people give credit for. I mean, McLaren is very competitive. The BMW is going to be more competitive. The slower, I mean, I would think that the Brands Hatch will be a track where the BMW really is going to fly. If they get clean track, they really are going to fly.
And just to once more to summarize basic difference between cars, we have 4 cars currently in the GT3 class in the Blanchepon Endurance World Championship Series qualifiers, so participating in this class in our racing, and those cars are McLaren MP4-12C GT3, then we have the BMW Z4 GT3, we have the Ford GT3, and yeah, it says Ford GT3. Technically it's Ford GT3, but it's Ford GT3, we call it that way, and then we have the roof, our R12 track, I believe, is the GT car. Anyway, the roof is fastest on a straight line and under acceleration from slow corners because it's got the superior rear end traction due to the rear mounted engine. The McLaren is best over curbs and is also reasonably fast on a straight line and is good in, reasonably good in slower corners but especially over curbs. It's probably, actually, as weird as it to say, is probably the safest car out of the all 4 because it's so safe over the curbs. That's gonna be turning out to be crucial, especially in tracks like Zolder, which feature a lot of curbing. Now, the BMW is slower, as you said, slower in a straight line, better in the fast corners, and also better under braking. So a lot of the the McLaren right now, the BMW right now is a lot like the McLaren used to be a few years ago. You can really, the only way to overtake in the BMW is to dive bomb. Well, not to dive bomb, but to go late brake and just hope for the best, stick it. So that's the way the BMWs are going to be overtaken, and I believe a lot of BMW drivers are going to get reputation for being aggressive, maybe uncalled for in the situation where it's your only opportunity. And the Ford GT. Now the Ford Horseman, the Ford GT3 doesn't really have an advantage in this build. So it doesn't really, it's in a slower bracket in a straight line along with BMW. It's not really better in the corners than any other cars. It doesn't have a strength, which is also why it just isn't that popular. It's also why Glacier Racing #1, for example, switched from the Ford GT to the McLaren, because the Ford GT was just not as competitive. So apart from the Ford GT, which doesn't have real strength, nor does it have a real weakness, but its only weakness is straight line speed, and for that reason the Ford GT isn't just picked on that much, or isn't picked that much, and that's the reason why there are so many roofs and McLarens and few BMWs in the top split. And by the way, you cannot change your car in the middle of the season, so with the car you go to the season, you have to hold the same car.
Yep, naturally you can, after the qualifier season is over, you can switch the car between this and the World Championship depending on the balance of performance after the next build. But that pretty much wraps up the 3-hour unofficial Glacier TV broadcast of the Blanchepon Endurance Series race in Road Atlanta. Blanchepon. And hope you enjoyed, guys. See you in 2 weeks, hopefully, with action from Brands Hatch. Hopefully there will be action. I'm predicting hot lapping fest, but yeah, we'll see. But until before then, have a nice 2 weeks.
Until 10. Yeah, goodbye.